Hello, welcome back viewers. I am RX Oliver and these are my friends and we are playing Ashes Without Number. This is after the end, session 10. We've no Brian C tonight, so it's myself, Dave, Max and our amazing Games Master, Mr. Brian. So without any further ado, I will hand it over to our Games Master, Brian. Logan, thank you.
All right, welcome guys. So as we finished last session, the four of you had recently shared a meal actually with Sandra Fenn and talked about the goings on in the world. She clearly at this point is not very antagonistic towards your group, but she is not the only power in the Red Hands, who are now verified to be holding the hospital. She did say that their focus on scavenging and possible forward movement is to the north of the hospital, which you guys are currently, if you look at your map, kind of southeast of. I want to turn up my music a little bit. I can't hear the cool music. There we go. There was some. Also, I should point out that she did mention to you that her people have run into some difficulty in primarily some underground areas, tunnels, sub-basements, subways, things like that, with some manner of creature that may once have been human but is not so much anymore. So she warned you to be careful if you go underground. What else did you guys talk about? Oh, you set up a dead drop, kind of halfway in between the auto repair shop and the hospital. So I think the expectation was that both of you would send someone to check that dead drop once a week to see if there's any information pass between the two of you. She also said she didn't think that her father, who's currently in charge of the Red Hands, is going to be able to focus on your group too much longer, what with the strangeness that happened at the police substation. And she imagined that he would probably be sending out a group to check out the crash site, or the assumed crash site to the northwest of this craft that appeared above the police substation. Aside from that, we begin this session with roughly about 4 days of food for 12 people in your group now. You have 50 non-perishable supplies. It is still day 12. You have not yet slept on this particular day. And what else? Oh, your greenhouse project should be at 11 days left until the greenhouse is constructed. And yeah, I think we'll pick up after Sandra has left. So you guys have already eaten today because you shared a meal with her, and we will discuss what to do on the morrow, I think. So, what are your thoughts? What are next steps currently for us?
Charlemagne is going to take some time, some days from now, just at the auto repair shop, supervising the things going on, the projects, helping out with those, and recovering from stress that he's taken over the last few days. So first thing I'm doing is switching out characters to Craig, the musician.
Okay. So according to my notes last session, you all found a few things at the police substation with just a cursory kind of look through. The bed sheet and the spray paint, which you used to make the banner to alert Sandra, which I assume now you've pulled inside. To not have it still out there.
Okay. Yeah, we pulled that in. I think there's presumably still some paint in those cans because they were new and we've just sprayed one name.
Yeah, I haven't made an item for the blue spray paint yet. I will, but yeah, you can assume that can is probably largely full, so you'll be able to use that for a while.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Aside from that, you also found, and I don't know if anybody added that to their sheets. I'll check Abigail. But you did, no, she doesn't have them. You did also find a package, a sealed package of 4 Type A batteries.
I think someone did grab that.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming you have all of these things. I just don't know if anybody has it on their sheets and if you want to transfer it to the repair shop or not. But yeah, 4 Type A batteries. There was also a cooking stove and 4 canisters of fuel for the cooking stove. And there was also the manual, the gunsmithing manual.
Oh, yeah.
I kept it.
So, I know you grabbed that one. That's not on your sheet, is it? No. So I'm going to go ahead and move that to your sheet. Do you guys want to just put the batteries and the cooking stove into the repair shop?
Yeah.
Or does anybody in particular want to grab those? Yeah? Okay.
Unless...
I said that's in case of emergency if they run out of, like,
a cooking place
zero.
in the repair shop, so that cooking stove might be a good idea because it is a portable cooking stove for expedition groups to take that with them. So groups that go out foraging and scavenging, they should maybe take that, actually. Depends how long they're going out.
I think...
They're going out for a couple of days or whatever.
I thought we were planning to do a little scouting and scavenging for a little bit before we headed out somewhere.
Well, I think that was the plan, yeah. So I'm going to move the cooking stove and 4 of the fuel canisters over to the repair shop. And then I will also move over. You have 1 Type A battery. I'm going to move over 4 more into the repair shop. So, just to
confirm, have I actually been accepted in the group because I was still regarded with some suspicion?
Well,
as I said last session, when you entered with everybody, some of the other people, when you came into the main kind of garage area, they looked at you. You definitely felt that they just kind of saw you, nodded, and went back to what they were doing. So, pretty easy acceptance from them, I think, contingent upon whether or not Charlemagne, Abigail, and Kang are accepting.
As far as Charlemagne's concerned, he's absolutely welcome into the group, and Charlemagne would make that clear to him, and that he's happy. In fact, that he's happy that he's joined the group. So you wouldn't be doubting it by now. Charlemagne would have made it very clear that you're very welcome, actually.
That's fine then. In that case, if we are planning on going scouting and scavenging, then I'd also like to leave some of my stuff here with the group for safekeeping.
I'm gonna see what I got. I can move over.
Okay, so if you haven't used it yet, you should be able to drag things from your character sheet into the auto repair shop sheet, which you should have also access to as well. But you'll then have to delete it from your character sheet.
Okay.
Because it won't just delete.
Do I have to open the sheet up, or can I just move it onto the icon on the right?
Oh, no, I think you need to open the auto repair shop sheet as well, and just have that open with your character sheet to drag.
Okay, will do.
I'm going to leave Charlemagne's stuff on Charlemagne for now. Actually, I'm going to put the torches, because my new character might take them.
Just make sure that, you're deleting thing from your sheet or deleting it from the auto repair sheet
Yep.
after you move things.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in there. I mean, you guys aren't really assuming you're using this as your base pretty much at this point, right? So you're not limited in space. You've got a whole storeroom. This place is big enough. There are other places you could store things here as well. But you may want to consider at some point if anybody wants to take some time on some of these days to turn some of this stuff into scrap. Because breaking stuff down is essentially a kind of a downtime kind of operation you can do. And I'll have to pull that up and take a look at it if I'm going to, but yeah, it's something you can do. You definitely have a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Can I just ask, the auto repair shop list just appears to have everything in ones. Is there a problem if I move something which I've got 2 of over to the auto repair shop? Would it put it in across as 2 or leave it as 1?
It should put it across as 2. Yep, 2 torches. I saw it just populate.
I removed 2 non-perishable food, but I think you have to add that manually to the thing. So
yes, so food. Well, you can do it too. You should have access to tick those counters up and down on the food. Yep, you got it.
That didn't seem to move across.
What didn't?
Oil can. Hang on, let me try again.
Oh, I think I saw something.
Yep, there it is.
Yes. What happened the first time was it duplicated it on my sheet.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, weird. Okay.
Oh, and somebody moved over the non-perishable food, but let me just delete that because that just got added to the non-perishable above. Yeah, so food and scrap, if you're carrying those, you don't have to move those over. You just delete them from your sheet and then add them to the totals we have for food above the stored gear, just to make that easy.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to grab a rifle or a rifle magazine if the group trusts Craig, who's a newcomer, with one of the group's weapons.
Well, I'd say that's fine. Yeah, it's like, it's like, hey, we're going out. So the question is, are we gonna have Annabelle go with us, or is she gonna stay here?
Abigail, I don't know.
Yeah, Abigail.
So I think Abigail will probably stay here while you guys, if you go out and do anything.
Well, I'm saying that we can take Ghost with us.
You could potentially, yeah, if you want to. I'll never stop you from doing that. Also, keep in mind that you're getting to the point where you have enough people. You probably want to start having people go out and do stuff to hunt, scavenge, whatever. I will say, if Gideon's going to take one of the there's only one rifle in there. Or sorry, Craig. If Craig's going to take a rifle, and you also said he's going to take the rifle magazine, don't do that, because that is a magazine with 30 rounds in it. You're going to have to grab if you have access to the items, you want to grab the loose rifle rounds.
Or rifle rounds.
And you're going to want to take some off the rifle magazine and have that many loose rifle rounds, because the rifle is just a chambered rifle.
Okay,
you're just adding rounds. You don't have a magazine.
So remove that rifle magazine and put it back over. And then what am I doing to add? How do I add some loose rounds?
How many rounds do you want to take for the loose rifle round?
Because it's full with 12, so I'll take a dozen.
Okay. So I'll just take 12 off of the 30 here. And
a bandsaw.
Then you can have a loose rifle rounds. Did you already move that over?
No. Where are they? Loose rifle rounds.
Here, I'll get you. This is for Craig, right?
Pistol rounds.
Loose rifle rounds should be right there. Oh, I may not have updated that list. It's fine. You got them now. So loose rifle rounds, we're going to say that has 12, and I think your rifle is already loaded with 6.
And I've got 6 in the gun, yeah. So I've got 3 full loads.
Yep. Oh, you're gonna have to manage Craig's ready gear though, because he's over.
He's not over. He is over.
Yep.
Okay, so I can move the knife.
I think you can only just stow away stuff you're not using. I mean, you get an upgrade from whatever else you have.
You think you just duplicated your knife?
Yeah. So how do I get rid of one? Oh, that's how I get rid of one.
You just delete it when it's on the stowed side. Yeah.
There we go.
So put away that you're still over. I'd put away the axe too, if you want to have the rifle as your primary for now.
There we go.
Okay. So that's done. Has Tim moved over things that he wants to?
I believe so. I was going to ask about the modern crossbow that you have in stock.
Sure.
How does that compare with a primitive bow?
So the modern crossbow does D8 damage. Primitive bow is D6. They both have the same. Well, the modern crossbow is actually 1d8 plus 1 trauma. So that means you're always going to be rolling a trauma target between 2 and 9, which is better than the primitive bow. Range is equitable, I think. Yeah, primitive bow is 20, 100. Modern crossbow is 30, 100. Or 3,200. So the range is quite a bit more. But, so the modern crossbow also is reloaded with a move action.
Yep.
It does not have the benefit that a bow does, where if you have a shoot skill of 1 or more, you can reload it as a part of your shoot action. So
well, at the present moment,
it would
I
basically
don't have...
be fire, reload. Yeah.
At the present moment, I don't have shoot 1. I've just got.
Oh, okay. So then they're equivalent there as well.
Let me check. I have shoot, but it's just rank level 0.
Rank 0, yeah. So it takes a move action to reload either one then.
In which case, I'm probably better taking the modern crossbow because it's 1 encumbrance lighter.
Yep. Yep.
So I will leave
and more damage.
I will leave my primitive bow and the second quiver, and take the crossbow and the case of bolts. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's also nice is that my character can actually make ammo for some of the stuff that we use, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now with the rifle manual, you should.
Well,
be
not
able to
yet,
make
but I
ammo
was just saying
for all of them.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just for right now, like with the bows and stuff, I can make those pretty simple.
Actually, I just noticed, David, you might want to take that scoped crossbow instead of the modern crossbow.
Even better.
The scoped crossbow is
I see.
+1 to hit because it's got a scope on it.
Good idea, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be our expedition leader when we go out scavenging now, aren't you, Mr. Wildlife, Mr. Crocodile Dundee?
So have
Well,
you?
that's-
Hang on, have you moved the scope crossbow over to your character sheet?
Yes, but it's automatically put it in equipped.
Well, that's fine. You can unequip it if you want. I just wanted to make sure before I deleted it from the auto repair shop.
Yes, I've moved
So
the
you've
case of
got
bolts and the scoped crossbow.
And the case of bolts. Okay. So those are both out of the repair shop now.
Okay, I have 12 rounds for the rifle. If we need more than that, then we're in serious trouble.
Oh, are you carrying a rifle in addition to the scoped crossbow? Might as well.
Yes.
Quiet, not quiet. Yeah.
Yep. Well, the crossbow is the quiet weapon, but
Yeah.
it's not as effective as the rifle, and
No.
I think it's also shorter range.
Right. And one of the key things that it's kind of it's not hidden, but you don't think about it as much, is crossbows and bows. They are not as effective against primitive armor as bullets are, right? So anybody wearing leather armor, Kang's scrap mail, that's all considered to be primitive. And so you get your armor bonus if they're using a hand-to-hand weapon or a bow or a crossbow, but if somebody is shooting you with a gun, you don't get that armor bonus.
That's true.
So that's a big difference between bows and firearms as well. Okay, so I think, is everybody done moving things around?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask.
Are we leaving all non-perishable food here and taking perishable food?
Well, there is no more perishable food.
I don't have to eat for today.
Well, we're not in a new day yet, but yeah, when we get, you've already eaten today.
Yeah. Also, how many of us are going to go out? Is it just going to be the 3 of us, or is 1 or 2 NPCs going to come with us too? We can take the dog.
I would say that we probably could take Ghost with us and have everybody else go in different groups.
Stop calling him Ghost.
Stop. Sorry. Well, Fallout. Say we take Fallout with us, and it's we have like the other 2 groups of 4, or at least groups of 3 can go out there and scavenge while somebody watches like the base.
Yeah.
Can I just confirm that the city is not a... is it a non-desolate landscape?
It depends on what you mean by desolate. So...
Well, level 1 survivalist, you can find enough food and water to sustain yourself while travelling normally through any non-desolate landscape.
Yes, it is non-desolate.
So I can safely leave my food here.
You can always
if you have any food, you can add it to the total. Yeah, for sure.
It's non-desolate because there's not nothing there. Desolate would mean there's nothing there, I guess.
Yeah, desolate would be a completely blasted out city. I mean, it's damaged, but like it hasn't been picked over to nothing, or like a desert. So yeah, you'll be able to find stuff for yourself.
Well, would you add 2 non-perishable foods in the auto repair shop, please, wherever you've got it?
So it's just above the stored items. You should see a couple of drop downs.
Well, and you can add it yourself.
I will add 2 to that.
Nice. Okay.
This character sheet has got no armor. He's got 4 hit points. It's a whole different ball game. Back to scratch.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Does he want some armor? Because there are several suits of leather armor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, dude, we got a bunch of them. I would suggest grab what you need. That's what literally you have, like the little things. There's armor, weapon stuff right there. Like it's an armory. We have like a little thing of armory. So there's like weapons.
So he's got a weapon, but
I took a gun.
Yeah.
What armor do we have?
Leathers.
We have a leather armor.
I don't think there's any scrap mail in there. No. Like Kang, if given enough time, could probably make another suit of scrap mail. But
yeah, I can make some full armor, full plate.
That puts me over encumbrance.
Oh,
that's just checking that if I add the crossbow to equipped, it automatically puts it on the attacks. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Do I need to wear winter clothes and leathers, or can I take the winter clothes off because I've got leathers?
No, you need your winter clothes if you're going to go outside. So here's the thing. If you are over by up to 2 in readied, or up to 4 in stowed, you're just going to move slower in an encounter, right? So normally you can move like 6 squares. You'll be able to move like 4. If you're a bit over encumbered, if you want to wear the armor.
The crossbow's got a lower encumbrance. It's encumbrance 1. I could swap out the rifle for the modern crossbow.
You could, but then you would have to split the ammunition with Tim.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll just be slightly over encumbered.
Yeah, it's just you're a little slower.
If I need to run, I can stow the rifle.
You could, yeah.
Well, we're scouting rather than moving quickly.
Yeah, hopefully.
Exactly. Right.
So we're out for a scout. If we come into a situation where there's a problem, you can always pass something to one of us, so that you can run faster.
And it's only going to affect your encounter speed, not like travel speed.
Brian, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
You know how like in some games they have animals that has like the military, like, like harnesses and stuff like that for canine units and stuff. And if you want to put like certain items and stuff like that, was there like anything that would have been something like that at the PlayStation, or is there something that Kane could probably create?
I mean, Ken could probably make it. You've definitely got enough supplies where he could make a harness of some sort for Fallout. Sure. Take time, but no, you didn't. You already did your once over the police station. Now you could go back there at some point looking for very specific targeted things.
No. But, it's just one of the things that if I could create myself, it's like it's just something right there, because it's just, if we have him with us, it'd be, he can carry certain stuff like the lighter items that we don't need to carry on us.
Okay. So if we're all done with swapping characters and moving stuff around,
indeed.
Can I ask Charlemagne what the aim is? Because as far as I'm concerned, he's the leader of this group. So what does he want us to... Is there anything he wants us to look for in particular, or anywhere in particular he wants us to go?
Yeah, so obviously we're looking for food and supplies and materials and stuff, but people, it's always people. That's the number one thing. Charlemagne's trying to gather together all the people, all the good people, to try to build a community, build some normality, and build a settlement and some life again. So just, if you come across any people, that's top priority.
Okay. As far as bringing supplies back is concerned, is there any chance that the group here could fabricate some sort of travois or
I think we did
something we can haul stuff back on?
We had a sled.
You have a sled, and the sled, I guess I could make an item for it, but basically the sled that you've crafted can basically be loaded up with loose stuff, so you can maybe get more on it if you could pack things together really well, but that would take a lot of time. But with just loose stuff that you find, the sled should be able to carry about 15 encumbrance of stuff.
That's still not bad.
In addition to what
turning
you guys
the sled
are
into a cart could be another project, because we do base projects, and making an improved sled could be the next project as well.
Well, the problem is not improving the sled. It's if you make it have much more capacity or try to load too much more onto it,
won't drag.
It's going to be more than a single person can drag, right? Or two people can drag.
Okay.
If you get your hands on a horse or an ATV or something like that, things might change.
I looked at a truck. Kane basically looked at Charlemagne. Charlemagne, he said he's going to go out for a little bit to help him, help the new guys getting to know the area and stuff like that. And he doesn't know if you're going to get some of the other groups to move around, but make him a list about stuff, what we need. So when he gets back, he's going to stay here a while to start building us up.
Charlemagne would say that a horse would be great if you find anything like a horse or something that could help us pull a bigger sled, because improving
if I could find a motorcycle, and I can probably maybe kind of convert it into like a snow sled, because just take out the back wheel and make it like treads in the back.
Anything like that would be excellent.
I could probably do
anything. So the more food and stuff we can transport, the better, because he's trying to grow this big community here. There are already a dozen people. We need masses of food every day now. We're trying to build sustainability through gardening and things like that. So potentially seeds is number one on your list. Seeds and things like that is number one on the list.
Do we also need to look out for a larger building?
Potentially.
Because if you're looking for a lot of storage for food, etc.
Or not just a building, but a site with several buildings that could be made into a settlement, with a storage building and residential, and so a site for a real settlement. So although we are working hard on our auto shop, somewhere to start again, a real actual settlement would be high up on the list.
Well, Kang would probably maybe suggest the police station. We know where it is, and it's a larger building.
I don't like the idea
so
of
we
the
could
police
always...
station. It's still Charlemagne for a switch characters because of the aliens. He doesn't like it. It's not a good place. We need somewhere residential, I think, where we can have houses, where people can have showers, and we need to try and get something, start on something, getting something working into a real community with back to real life.
So
that's what Charlemagne's looking for eventually.
I don't want to force your. Sorry, go ahead, David.
I was about to ask. I'm not familiar with this town. Is anybody here familiar with this city?
Charlemagne is to a certain extent. He'd been here for a little while before the events of the end 5 years ago, working, so he knows it as well as any other immigrant to the city. He's not born and raised here.
Okay. Is he aware of any civic centres which were likely to have information about the area?
Possibly.
Oh, that could be interesting, like a visitor center or like a tourist location or
tourist information. Yeah.
You know, better business lists of businesses in the area. What facilities are where, that sort of thing.
So yeah. One thing to keep in mind is that when the 2 waves of the gamma ray burst came through, each time there's essentially just this massive days, possibly even weeks long lightning storm that destroyed so many things with fires and stuff like that. So a large percentage, I would say probably easily like 75% of the city is in ruins. It's burned out. Like, you'll still be able to find stuff, right? Because there was also just the snow, especially for the second wave that hit. But the buildings that you've been looking at so far and that are marked on the map, they stand out because they're whole, mostly. And that's rare. That being said, if you're looking for a complex or a series of buildings that are close together or something to really foster a burgeoning community, because your auto repair shop, as long as you all don't mind sleeping close to each other, you're going to be fine there until you get to like double the number of people you have right now. But after that, you're going to need more space. Mm-hmm. So
Charlemagne's
you're
thinking
looking
of
at
that
things
future
like,
when there is more than 25 of
sure.
us, when there's 50, when there's
so
100.
You're looking at things like a hospital, but you already know one of those is taken.
Mm-hmm.
A school, possibly, or a university, a prison.
Mm-hmm. University would be excellent, actually. Prison's a shout.
An army base.
Well, if we can find somewhere, that has information about the city generally,
sure.
Then when we enter an area, we'll be able to we'll know what could be in that area, and if we see that the whole place is destroyed, then we'll know the sort of stuff we might be able to scavenge.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
maybe look for
if we know it's still in one piece or in reasonably good nick, again we'll know what we might be facing.
Yeah. So, and basically what we've done in the past, David, so that you know, is in order to find more locations to check out, you're going to need to scout hexes. Yep. When you successfully scout a hex, the first time they scouted a hex, I gave them several locations, but after that I kind of slowed down. So when you successfully scout a hex, you might find 1 or 2 locations either in the hex you're scouting or in an adjacent hex that it's like, oh, that place looks like it's still in good condition, we might want to go check that out. So in order to find something like that, whether you're talking like a library or a public like a government building, records building, something like that, you're going to need to scout some hexes. So yeah, like a town hall, you're going to need to scout some hexes.
Well, what I would suggest to Charlemagne then is if we go out and do some multiple scouting and pick up what we can, but focus on seeing what's around. And given our discussion with Mademoiselle Fenn, we head south. And once we bring it all back, then decisions can be taken as to where we head to do major scavenging.
Yeah.
Yes?
So scouting with an eye to scavenging, but also with an eye to the future, looking at what's around. Yep, 100%.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Charlemagne will
okay.
relay this to Kang and Tim, and he'll put Kang in charge because Kang's been around longer. But he'll have a word with Tim and talk to Tim and say he's really glad
Yeah.
you're here, and you're a very good addition to the group with the skills you've got. So I'm going to send you out with Kang. You and Kang can keep an eye on this new guy. I don't know about this new guy, Craig. I don't know about him yet, but you guys will keep an eye on him.
Yes, boss.
So it's like, he looks at Charlemagne and it's like, hey, well, as we have looked around the area where we're at, do you want to have some people start scouting out more, scavenging around while we can look maybe where the mall's at? Because that's one location we have.
No, I think, and for roleplay's sake, I think we'll just have one group out scouting. So I'd say the rest will be here working on the projects that are here. We've got quite a lot of work to do now at the base, so I'd say everybody else can just stay here and work on it. But Charlemagne's staying there because in case these Red Hand come back and there's any more diplomacy to be, he wants to make sure he's around for it. But I think the rest of them should stay, and we should all work on the projects that are here.
Okay, well, you got 2 people working on the greenhouse, and any more than that, they're going to get in the way. So the 3 of you and Fallout are going to go out. You want to have at least one person on watch who can take turns with the 2 people who are going to be working on the greenhouse, following Kang's plans. So who are the 3 people that are going to stay at the base?
I'd say maybe Annabelle, Abigail.
Okay.
Abigail, Sophia, because Sophia's Emma's character.
I mean, Charlemagne, you're going to be there too, right?
And Charlemagne's going to be there, yeah.
What about Francisco? You don't want to leave Francisco there?
I would leave everybody there except us, personally.
I would encourage you to send... So if you leave 3 people at the base...
And then send 3 out, you think?
Let's say Abigail, Sophia, and Charlemagne. I think you then have 2 groups of 3 you can send out to scavenge and look for food.
Okay. Well, this would be Charlemagne would be deciding then. So Charlemagne will send... As you've lined them up then, that's fine. Those 2 groups.
Okay, well, Rosie doesn't want to go anywhere without Carlos.
Right,
so,
okay, so yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, that works.
Ruben, Carlos, and Rosie, Jacob, Giulan, and Francisco go out and scavenge and or hunt and or look for food.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to
there's 3
basically get that stuff out of the way first, we're going to do them first. However, we got to wrap up the night. So, you've had your dinner with Sandra Fenn. What's everybody doing after dinner? Somebody needs to go up and keep an eye out if you want to have somebody always watching.
Yep, I'll do that. That's not a problem.
Okay, so Tim goes up top. We'll just put
I
him
would say King probably
get up the roof.
I think King would probably just, like, if he had some notebook paper, release something to write on. Just basically scribble, like, basically jot notes of basically ideas of what he can start working or get people to start working as soon as he gets back. Besides the greenhouse.
Yeah, I would think
So,
with as few people you have and as many mouths you need to feed at this point, I think getting people working on additional projects might be a bit too much, because you, like, the 3 of you, or even if 4 of you were here, you're not going to be able to continue to feed 12 people.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Every time
No,
you
this
go
is
out,
just-
so you need to send other people out.
Yeah.
So I mean,
we'll have the
coming up
3
with
groups
ideas
going
is
out
one
together.
thing, absolutely, but I
Yeah,
think right now, if you
that-
just stick to the greenhouse project, that's the one you should
Oh,
focus
yeah.
on.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's what it is.
Charlemagne, Sophia, and Abigail will work on that back at the thing, and these 2 groups of 3 can go out as well as us as a group of 3 going
Right.
out. I agree.
Now, to that end, let's see, what else did I want to say? Okay, so we've got 4 additional non-perishable. That's handy. Oh, the scrap. So I haven't deducted the scrap for the greenhouse yet. Do you want me to go ahead and do that now, or do you want to wait until you scrap some more? We can wait till the end if you want.
We'll just wait until
I think you can
it's
get
24 TL3 scrap.
Yeah, we'll just wait until it's finished and then we take the total up, I guess.
Okay, that's fine.
As
So,
long as we know we've got enough in the pile that construction continues.
Now, that said, you do have, if you wanted to, for your active characters, I don't think Gideon has suffered any... Or, why do I keep saying Gideon? Craig. I don't think Craig has suffered any stress yet.
So.
Tim doesn't have any stress currently.
No, none.
Kang has a little bit of stress.
But Tim took cold blood, if you remember.
Oh, right, yeah. Tim is never going to worry about stress again. Kang, who's carrying the stress ball? Actually, I should ask that.
Oh yeah,
I think it was yeah, but you passed it on around.
Has been given the actual stress ball yet? So, do you want me to just give it to Kang? Does Kang want to be the holder of the stress ball for now?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. So Kang has the stress ball. It does not have any encumbrance. But if you want to use it to reduce your stress, or if you want to talk to Charlemagne before he goes NPC mode.
Yeah. I might do that. Just talk to him, see if I can get my stress down a little bit.
Yeah, so Charlemagne makes a roll, right?
Yep. Healing. Gotta beat a 10. Well, 10 or better.
And I can do it on charisma, right?
Sure, yeah.
There we go.
I'll do it. Okay,
so
Kang can reduce his stress by 1 point.
Yay.
Keep in mind, everybody only gets to use the stress ball once per session, only active characters, though. So Kang can use the stress ball now if he wants as well, or you can wait until later in the session if you like.
I'll just wait later. It's just fun.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Kang and Charlemagne have a little conversation. Everybody else is kind of preparing for tomorrow. I guess you guys would probably move into the main area where the fire is to stay warm.
Oh, yeah.
Tim is up on the roof. You know what? They haven't done a bad job putting together, like, it's not covered, sadly, so you... although it looks like maybe somebody brought up some kind of like a strap of tarp or something like that to kind of make a makeshift over their head for when the snow is really blowing. But yeah, I mean, there's snow berms on each side. If you are curious or inquisitive enough to kind of poke into the snow, you find that they have actually put some, feels like in a couple of places, maybe it's wood and metal, maybe some sandbags or something similar, where they've made this kind of ring around the ladder that you can kind of duck behind but also look out. There's no binoculars or anything, but you have a scope on your crossbow that you can use to when you go up there and take a look at stuff. And again, the snow is falling as you're up there, though, and somebody will come up at some point a few hours later to let you get some rest as well. Probably Sophia, to be honest, or no, actually, probably somebody more like Ruben. You don't know. You're not quite sure of everybody's names yet. You know, you just kind of moved into this place, and they do seem very welcoming and very free. I mean, you did go through a pretty traumatic a day or so with these strange aliens, as Tim is thinking of them, and everything that happened at the police substation. I will say, while you're up there, you, off to the northwest, you notice that there's a bit of a corona of kind of greenish, bluish light. In Tim's travels, I don't know, has Tim seen the Aurora Borealis at any point in his life, do you think?
If he's been focused down on the South American jungle, no. Because he'd have grown up...
Would he at any...
Oh, he's probably seen. He's probably been told about it and seen pictures of it, but he's not. And of course, with the sky having been cleared of whatever by the gamma ray bursts, it's whatever we see at night since the disaster.
Right. So, and it's interesting that you bring that up, because as you're looking to the northwest, you do see this odd kind of corona of greenish blue. And although Tim has never seen personally the northern lights, this does bring back a memory of shortly after the fall, probably within a month or so. You were likely still in the jungle at that point, just trying to survive. And I think that you would recall being in the jungle, possibly on a mountain, maybe overlooking Buenos Aires, and you just recall seeing the city burning, which is probably why you would have avoided returning to the city for so long. This would have been shortly after the initial lightning storm happened. Where do you think, if you were on a tour, let's say you were, when the fall happened 5 years ago, where would you have taken cover if there was just an endless storm of lightning that caught you and your group in the mountains, in the jungle?
Well, the forest would be a dangerous place for that, because the trees would just attract it. So, preferably out of the forest, in the foothills, overhangs or caves, whatever we can find. Too high up the mountains, and you're exposed to it there. So somewhere between the forest and the mountains, anywhere we knew there that there were caves.
Okay. So you recall having a group with you. You, did we decide Tim speaks Spanish? We did. Okay.
Yes.
So, although Tim speaks Spanish, I would imagine you probably were a part of a group. You know, nobody goes into the jungle with just a single tour guide. You know, usually there are porters and you know, especially on kind of a rich excursion kind of deal, which is what I imagine Tim would probably be working for, taking people into the wilderness.
Yeah. So it may be kind of local natives from the jungle, so they'd have their own patois.
Right. So early on, would Tim be as interested in protecting the people that you were taking on this tour? Do you think Tim would be one to take personal responsibility?
Well, yes.
For them in the midst of this event?
They are my responsibility. You know, we were hired to look after them on this trip. We don't know what's happening, but if we can get them back to civilization, we will. But protecting them from what's happening at the moment, then that would be primary purpose.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, taking that, you recall leading the group first down out of the jungle, and perhaps your immediate goal was to return to the city and the places of safety. But as you see the lightning storm continue and the city in flames, you and some of the natives that you were traveling with redirected, as you said, into the foothills and looking for any kind of caves, or, as the natives would tell you and directed you, possibly to some older Mayan ruins or underground locations. Cenotes is what they would refer to them as. And you'd be familiar with cenotes, particularly those that sometimes rich tourists would dive into and take cameras and look at this underworld, as the Mayans describe it. But perhaps you recall...
consistent source of water. So Okay, we'd have to boil it, but you can't trust
Sure.
Other water.
Right. So, as you go underground with this group for a time, possibly for a few weeks before the lightning storm ends, maybe you recall looking at some ancient inscriptions or carvings in the cenote that some of the natives were trying to explain to you between your Spanish and their patois of things like this having happened in the past, of great times of struggle, of the surface being unsafe, and their people heading underground to protect themselves. And maybe you had forgotten it up to this point, or maybe you just kind of shuffled it back into the back of your mind, not really thinking anything of these stories of people coming from above and the surface being racked with storms. But after seeing what you saw today and living in this wasteland for 5 years, perhaps that is all coming back to you. Perhaps also after dealing with Sandra and the Red Hand, you recall a time, maybe not long after, when you ran into the Red Hands for the first time. You're muted, David.
No regard for life? Was that my impression of them?
Why would that be, do you think?
Only interested in taking what they wanted rather than helping people.
Was your first interaction with them perhaps as raiders?
Well, if we were escorting
group?
If we were escorting what was left of the tourists back to try and find civilization, and we were raided for them trying to take what we had, possibly surviving a vehicle or whatever food we were carrying, would that be appropriate for the Red Hand's actions at that point?
Probably.
As far as me as a player is concerned, I don't know what their motivations were, but my motivations would be to try and get these tourists back to somewhere semi-civilized so they can try and get back to their families.
So I'm going to say after you came out of the cenote with the natives and the tourists, that you managed to survive for some time underground, both with the ready water supply and also you and some of the natives going up top to get what you can for food occasionally. The jungles were hit by lightning, but being rainforest, essentially being wetlands, thankfully the jungles didn't burn down. Damaged, certainly, but not the end. So you would have been able to find food and maybe set out traps for smaller creatures and maybe even do some fishing, because the cenotes themselves are sources of food if you know how to look and to fish. But after you came out and began to head back down into the city, your group initially found an abandoned army truck that you and some of the natives got running, loaded everybody up in, and headed into the city. But before reaching it, probably on your second day out of the foothills, would have been waylaid by a group of these red-garbed people. At this point, I think you would have seen them much more as a military unit. They seem to be heavily armed, and they were all wearing red sashes, red hoods, but a lot of their gear, their gas masks, things like that, appeared to be military on some level.
So some sort of local militia organized by the government would be my belief.
Yeah. You couldn't really tell they were speaking Spanish, and they tried a couple of other languages as well, English, and as soon as they lit on language you could understand, they basically had you get everybody out of the truck and um, lay out all of your supplies. And I think for your flashback for them, for your first interaction with them, I think what we will have had happen is you all complied, right? I would assume that you would comply to try to protect people.
Well, yes. If this is kind of local militia organised by the government, then
Sure.
Certainly get out the civilians first of all, so that they can take stock. Lay out all our supplies. Well, just to demonstrate we've not been looting, I suppose. So yes, but getting a little bit more concerned. If they started talking about me, put your rifle down, then I would just fade back out of sight and
Okay.
take whatever action I needed.
So as I think that probably would have happened, and as you faded back out of sight, trying to maintain your power over at least what little you have power over, your equipment, your gear. Obviously you're concerned about the natives and the tourists as well, but as you kind of faded into the background, you noticed at first in what sounded like perhaps Swedish. You're not sure though. You don't speak it.
No, but I do remember. What was it? Kermit and the Swedish Chef. You know, the sort of sound.
Sure. Right. That exactly. It sounded exactly like that. And no, you notice. You think some kind of Norwegian or that kind of area of the world language. And then you hear in bits of English and Spanish. It seems like they're talking about the fact that they can't afford to support non-fighters. And then before you can even do anything, they gun down all the tourists.
Whoa.
And a few of the natives start running, because the tourists are, let's be fair, they probably were a little worse for wear after having to survive in a cenote with you and the natives for some time. But they were all soft, rich tourists.
Yes, understood.
And so they were just gunned down. The natives actually started to run. 2 of the natives were shot in the back as they fled. The other 2 put down their meager weapons that they had and held up their hands, and they were actually brought into the truck. Everyone seemed to have forgotten about you, probably thanks to you being a bit of a ghost. And they drove off, leaving the bodies of these tourists you'd spent months protecting and helping survive, and a couple of your companion natives die bleeding out. Maybe you tried to help, maybe you didn't.
Well, I tried to help the natives, or at least be there when they died. At that stage, I didn't have heal, unless it's something you're saying that I did have.
Yeah. I mean, you would have known basic first aid, but they were all beyond your ability to help, sadly.
Okay.
And
given the option, I would then have tracked the truck and jogged along after it and snuck up on them, and then tried to deal with them quietly to rescue those 2 other natives.
Okay. So obviously they're moving in a truck and you're on foot.
Understood.
So it took several days before you caught up to them. But what you found was a much larger encampment. There were probably only 6 or 7 of them that waylaid your group. Now you were encountering an encampment of at least 20 or 30 of them. All of them appeared to be equipped with military arms, and body armor, all of them wearing red sashes. You would have seen your natives that you recall, possibly even to the point of knowing their names, but you would have seen them similarly outfitted now. And even after just a few days, you would be able to, from concealment, look on this encampment and see them enjoying a meal, being a part of the group. They were basically just brought in as additional fighters, as it were. And I think perhaps
so they're not being victimized as slave labor or anything like that.
No. No, they looked like they were essentially being treated as new recruits.
Well, if there was any sign of the guy who gave that order, I would try and shoot him from cover, basically, because.
Okay.
I mean that, and leave a, if need be, leave a message, say, for where I shot them from, basically saying, justice for killing my tourist/natives. What? Basically, leave something to say that's why it happened. The guy who gave the order.
No, I like that. So
they change things in our timeline.
I will say now. No, it won't. Now I will say that you recall, thinking back on this as your memories take you, you do recall being able to find him. You stayed in cover and basically observed their encampment for a few days, saw parties go out, parties come back, sometimes with additional vehicles, sometimes with additional gear, sometimes with additional people that they then outfitted with appropriate gear to join them, and their numbers swelled. But one night, you managed to spot the blonde-haired, pale, clearly Norwegian-looking gentleman who gave the order to gun down the tourists, probably almost a week ago at this point, as you came down out of the hills. And you lined up your shot and you took it. And you left your message behind, possibly scrawled on a scrap of paper or a food wrapper, making no attempts to cover or hide the fact that you were there, other than covering your trail as you left the location. But now what you recall... Go ahead, David, you were muted again, so I didn't hear that.
Sorry, that would explain Sandra's comment.
So, but now as you recall, remembering this for the first time in some time, you remember the face of the person that was sitting next to this Nordic captain officer that you shot. And let's say that your aim is so good that you shot him through the carotid artery in the neck. You wanted him to bleed out and feel fear, the same way that those people that he gunned down in the hills did. And so when your arrow, or did you still have a gun at that point?
Oh no, sorry, I would have been out of ammunition, so I was back to using a bow.
A bow that you probably crafted yourself with your
primitive bow,
skills.
Yes.
Yeah. So your arrow cut through his neck, and now you recall the face of the person that was sitting next to him. Their face spattered in blood, and it was actually David Fenn, the young man that you found in the police substation with the note from his sister, that was sitting there shocked as this person, this officer, perhaps someone above him in the line of command, suddenly just died as an arrow came out of the dark and severed his artery in his neck. So yeah,
fair enough.
That's kind of what you imagine as you're up.
Okay.
On watch.
Yeah, fair enough. The aurora to the north.
Yep.
Is it in the sky, kind of like the Borealis, or is it over the area where we think, just over a limited area where we thought there was the crash?
It is just over a limited area, you imagine, in the location or the direction of the crash.
And when that UFO was shot,
it's more of a corona over the city skyline than it is high up in the sky.
Okay, in that case, I will call down to Charlemagne that I can see something like a corona over where we think the alien ship crashed. And I will persist in calling it aliens, even if it isn't.
And it was the same, it was blue and green light came out from the craft when it was shot, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the light that emanated from it when it was actually hit. So it's like the crash site is glowing, kinda. That's what Charlemagne thinks.
Okay, so Sophia at some point comes up and relieves you, and you're able to head back down and find yourself a place in the large garage area.
I will compliment her on the camouflage, etc.
Oh, she's like, oh, thanks. I spent a lot of time up here with everybody else getting this ready. She has, I'm not going to attempt it, but she has, an Argentinian accent. She very clearly is a native to the area. Quite young, probably was a college student when the event happened. Or early college, because I mean she's probably only 19 or 20 or so. I think she's only 18
now, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
To you? Okay. So that, I think, is that for our evening. We know that Sophia, Charlemagne, and Abigail are going to stay at the base and swap out between keeping watch and working on the greenhouse. That leaves the other two parties to go out. Do you want them to specifically hunt, or specifically scavenge, or just do whatever?
Hunting and scavenging, just gathering food, whatever food they can gather. They're on food duty, we are on scouting. They're on food.
Both parties are on food duty, no scavenging?
I think we'll put them both on food today.
Okay, sounds good. So, what we're going to do now to handle their food duties, rather than me making rolls for them, I want you guys to make rolls for them. They are your NPCs, they're your camp followers, you're going to take care of it for me. So, your foci do not work for these groups, specifically, so no survivor bonus for them, since Tim isn't with them. But rather than go through like specific skills and things like that, I think we're just going to make it super easy and have you make luck tests, luck saves for how effective they are. So we'll start with, we'll just do 2 rolls. Up to you guys who you want to make the rolls. Probably not Tim or Craig, because they're lower level and luck is only based on level.
Well, we're going. Craig and Tim are going out in the party that's going out. This is the other group.
No, but I'm saying I want you guys, the current active characters, to make luck saves for this.
All right. Okay.
So one, I do want to split them up though. So having Kang make 1 is fine, since Kang is the highest level. After Kang, probably Tim.
I think Kang and Tim can do them because Craig's a fresh level 1 character.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get a luck save from Kang and Tim to see how well the groups do.
Would it not be better from Charlemagne?
Yeah, but
Charlemagne's not active right now. He's in NPC status.
Okay, fair enough. Here comes a luck roll.
Ah, no. Okay. So, Kang, you are going to go ahead and roll a 1d6 for me.
Okay.
Nice.
6.
Oh, right. Nice.
No roll from Tim. So that was their first 5 hours. Now for the second 5 hours, let's do 2 more luck saves. And this time Craig does have to make 1, and then whoever else wants to make the 4th one.
And this is day 13 now. This is the next day now, isn't it?
This is day 13, yes.
Okay, so
I'll roll the other one.
Okay, so one from Craig and one from Kang. Luck
Okay,
saves.
saves. Oh, would you look at that?
Oh,
That-
did it not roll for me?
No, I don't see one for Kang.
Just see your 1d6.
What's weird?
Oh, come
Oh, look
on.
at that.
No, 20, good.
Okay, so I just decided that I think we're gonna have a 20 crit on this when they're out doing stuff. So go ahead and roll 2d6 for their second 5 hours of hunting
Right.
for food.
Oh, d6.
That's not bad.
9.
That's not bad.
So 9 and 6 is 18.
No, it's 15.
Oh yeah, 15. Because I can do math. 15.
Math is
So
good.
now,
It could be 18 if it's good.
why don't you? Actually, I probably should have had this happen before. Were they hunting or scavenging? I'll just ask you. Hunting for food
think they
or
were-
scavenging for food?
I mean, if they can scavenge food, that's more non-perishable they can find.
Probably.
Yeah, let's say one group was doing one and one was doing the other.
Since. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I think I probably would have had you roll with a bonus if you were rolling for non-perishable. So we'll just say that's all perishable.
Okay.
Or sorry, other
So
way
then-
around. If you're rolling for perishable food, you would have had a bonus.
So say it's all scavenged, all non-perishable.
It's all scavenged, so it's all like boxes,
Cans and
cans,
boxes,
things like
yeah.
that. So 15 more non-perishable. I'll go ahead and add it.
Come on, the Honey Nut Cheerios.
15. So 69 non-perishable is where you're at. That's what they're going to
Hey.
find today. Okay? So, now let's handle you guys. We haven't done this in a while, and we haven't done it with David yet. So, scouting a new hex.
So that's the question of where are we going to scout at? That's
Yeah.
why I want to.
Yeah, that's the first thing we
I'm
need
just
to
pulling
answer.
the map up just now.
Yeah. So look, we have where the mall is. We have the location here, and we have
Why
like
don't we
one.
go for this one?
two,
Gregorio de La Ferrer. This one, down
Well,
here.
hang on. You have where the mall is, but you haven't scouted that hex.
Have we
Yeah,
not
that's
done
what I'm
this
saying.
one?
We know that.
Okay.
No, yeah,
Should
because
do
if we
that
scout
one?
right here, we could find the location here and probably here.
And keep in mind, every hex you scout is going to give you 1 point of experience.
Yeah, let's do this one then.
So the one with the mall?
Yeah. Because
Correct.
then we've got 4 ways we can go to spread out if we want to do that one, that one.
Yep.
we've got
Yep.
that one and that one.
We got
As long as
the
you're
one up
focusing
here.
on staying south, sure, yeah. Okay, so scouting the hex. Not that stress. Where's my scouting stuff? Balance mission time. It's not combat. Here we go, scouting. So you can travel for up to 10 hours per day, assuming you're adequately dressed. You are. You are in intact urban cores. So it's going to take about 3 hours walking, is that right? Oh, that's to cross. To scout the hex.
Well, effectively, we're going to be travelling a full hex to get from centre
Yeah.
to centre,
We're crossing a full hex first, yeah.
plus whatever time it is to scout a hex. And we're moving
Oh.
slightly more slowly because of Craig.
Oh no, that's right. I have this marked as suburb. So it's going to take you 2 days to scout the hex. So, are you going to plan on being out and camping out while you scout the hex, or do you want to like do a half a day scouting it, come back, do another half a day scouting it, come back? Or do you want to make it like an expedition for scouting?
I think an expedition. What do you think, boys? I'm not the leader.
Yeah, I
What
think
do
we're
you
good.
think?
Okay, so you
Yeah, I
guys are
think
gonna
it's
have
good.
to take. You guys are gonna have to take food with you.
Yeah.
You can do some hunting and scavenging while you scout. Tim doesn't need to, which is a benefit.
Well, I don't need today either.
Today.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to today.
Yeah.
But Craig will need food. So before you leave camp, how much of that perishable food do you guys want to take with you?
Give me 2 days. I'll take 2 days just in case.
Okay.
2 non-perishable.
So go ahead and find
give me
that
just
in the
one,
items list.
because we're trying to find food. So give me just one, and hopefully we'll find more.
Well, no, we're scouting. We're not scavenging. Is that right,
But
boss?
yeah, I suppose.
So
Yeah.
you can scavenge while you scout. You just won't be able to do it twice, essentially.
Give me 2.
Does that make sense?
Me 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so characters on the screen. So I need to open up Craig. Craig's gonna take 2 non-perishable or non-perishable.
2 non-perishable. 2 cans of. 1 can of
Whatever. Yeah.
1 can of meatballs and 1 can of tin peaches.
And a can opener.
There it is.
The can opener. Quite right, Tim. You're correct. The can opener. I've got a knife, but just in case.
All right. So I gave Craig 2 non-perishable. Does Kang want to take some?
I'm gonna take 1, just to be good, because I don't need to eat today.
You
Just
need
at
one
least
every
have
2
enough.
days anyway, don't
Yep.
you?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Wait, where's Kang? Why is he not on my list anymore?
What?
Oh, by the way, I presume we are not taking the sled with us, correct?
Don't think so. No, we're not.
If we're
particularly-
scouting,
No.
we're
we
scouting
don't want
more
we
than
don't want
scavenging.
we don't want to leave tracks. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Can I ask a quick question on the
you
crossbow?
sure can.
Am I right in thinking that I need to reload it before we start?
Have it loaded ready. Yeah.
You can, yeah.
In that case, I will have it loaded and ready.
And
Max,
make
did
sure
you take?
you reduce your.
You took 1 food, didn't you, Max?
Mm-hmm.
So you're at 66.
66.
Okay. Technically, you're less than that because they haven't brought back the food yet, but yeah, it's fine.
Oh yeah, it's just we're taking what we need, then it goes up from there.
Okay, so good. We got food figured out. So you guys are going to go out, and today, are you going to travel quickly? Probably not, right? You're being careful, I would imagine,
Oh, yeah.
since you're scouting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I
Well,
will
we
make
we know there are family about, and we don't want to come across
Right.
any scouting red hand.
Okay. So the first part of the day, you're able to travel into the hex and start scouting it. This, we'll say you're doing kind of the northern part of the hex for now. It is still fairly dense in terms of city, a lot of bombed out buildings or burned out, right? Not bombed, like lightning bolts.
Mhm.
The fires thereafter.
Can we keep an eye out for somewhere to spend the night? I will look out
Sure.
for a good den.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you make a survival roll for that once we decide to bed down for the night. But yeah, nothing really stands out of the ordinary in terms of an encounter, as it were. So you move further into the space and spend the rest of your day checking it out.
Maybe a little
There
bit of
we go.
scavenging in the space we've discovered.
Okay. Now,
So this way, there.
yep. As you continue to scavenge and scout for the day, you do unfortunately have to deal with some weather. There is a cold snap. Any character caught out in a cold snap must make a physical save or suffer 1 system strain per hour. Characters without winter clothing do not receive a save. You're all wearing winter clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's only going to last about an hour, it's up to you. Do you want to stay? Do you want to keep scouting and scavenging and make the physical save and take strain? It's only 1 point of strain. Or do you want to bunker down for an hour?
I'll advise not. It may only be an hour this time. We don't know whether there'll be another one coming through. So I'd advise not. But
I'd say
up to the others.
Just hunker down
Kang's
for
in
an
charge.
hour, yeah.
So what does
it's just like we have to find a place to stay for the night, possibly anyway. So this is good time to find somewhere we can actually safely stay for a night, so we can stay and cover it out, like wait out the winter for the hour and just come back. We know, hey, we have a safe place to stay.
You don't know it's only going to be an hour, but just for games.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but so Kang makes the call.
It's a day after tomorrow. Big clear area in the sky coming close.
Oh yeah, no, nothing like that. Okay, so as you are all traveling, it's already been about 5 hours. The temperature starts to drop a lot. You can always, when you're outside, kind of see your breath on the air in front of you. It's always snowing, obviously, except for when there's something quite large hovering in the air above you, but that's not happening right now. And so you can feel it start to drop. You can feel like the edges around your eyes start to get kind of crusty from ice. You can kind of feel it if you've ever been in like a cold environment. You know what it's like to feel the mucus in your nose start to crystallize because it's so cold. So Kang calls for, we need to find a place to ride this out. Who wants to make the survival roll to find a decent place to hunker down and maybe start a small fire?
I think, though Kang is in charge of the group, I think Tim is in charge of things like that because he's the expert. Tim, do you want to make that roll?
Okay, will do.
You're our...
What's it based on? Expert. Characteristic?
In this case, it would be your call between intelligence or wisdom.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay. So, unfortunately... Oh, well, you get to re-roll that, don't you? Because of Survivalist? It's a survival-oriented roll.
Hang on, let me just check what it says.
Get a half-time break soon, Brian. Don't mind.
Sure, after this, yeah.
Good.
No, it's foraging party results.
Okay.
You roll twice and take the better roll.
Okay. So, unfortunately, although you do find some cover, it's not quite as good as it could be. So I'm going to have everybody make your physical save to resist the cold for the hour. Trust me, it could have been a lot worse because it's only going to last about an hour. But before you make that roll, somebody already did.
Failed.
So, what is Craig's physical save?
15.
15, so it wouldn't be enough. I was going to say, with the attempt at some shelter, I was going to give you a +2 to your physical save. So Craig is going to take a point of system strain.
Okay.
So is Kang.
That's expected.
And so is Tim. Okay, so that also reminds me, I know Craig's fine. Were Kang and Tim down any hit points? Because you guys did sleep last night at the auto repair shop. Okay.
No, I'm full. Cool. I'm good.
Okay, so you all lose a point of strain, and you're able to finish out the rest of the day. We will now take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll do night, and then we'll move on to the next day. Sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
Back in 5.
Back in a tick.
And we're back for part 2, session 10 after the end.
Right.
I think I might have said session 9 right at the start. It's not session 10, so just making sure I got it in there.
No, you said 10.
Did I say 10? I'm good. Okay.
Yeah. And I held up 10 figures too, so if they were looking at me, they would have seen 10.
Sweet, okay.
All right, so yeah, when we left off, you had just kind of finished dealing with some harsh weather, and luckily it didn't last that long, although it did kind of chill you all to the bone. Thankfully, we haven't dealt with a lot of system strain, but system strain is a lot easier to get rid of than stress in this game. As long as you have an opportunity to sleep in a safe place. Unfortunately, out in the world is not a safe place, so you will not receive recover system strain tonight, but when you get back to your base. At any rate, you're able to spend the rest of the day scouting. You're about halfway done scouting the Hex. You do see the mall as you're scouting, so again, as you're able to verify it's there. You found it before. But you do also notice as you approach the mall that it doesn't look like there's really anything going on at the mall. You see some faded kind of red handprints on the front door and some of the other entrances of the mall, so that means that the Red Hand have already been through there and essentially been through, considered it, moved on. So you don't have to worry about them. But now is not the time to delve into the mall, so instead you continue to find a place to bed down for the night. Let's go ahead and get a roll from, again, probably Tim, although you can all help if you want, if anybody else has survival.
I do.
I'd be grateful. I'd be grateful for help, certainly.
Okay, so let's have.
I have survived.
Does you both do? Yeah. Why don't all?
Yeah.
All. Well, let's have Kang and Craig roll first
As they assist.
as they assist to see if they can give any help in looking for a place to bed down.
I'm trying to remember to assist. Do we just roll the regular dice, or do we just roll a D something by itself?
No. You're making a skill check. So
some wisdom or intelligence.
you make a
whatever we
survival
choose,
roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, intelligence or wisdom is fine for
It's
this.
the same anyway. A decent roll for me.
Okay, so Craig actually is going to help.
Yeah, this thing will work with me.
Nice.
There you go.
All right. So
I think you two should have done. I think you two should have found something by now.
So Tim can make the roll to find a place to bed down, and it will be at +2.
Thank you.
Oh, that's enough.
Okay, total of 8.
That's a 10.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
No, that was including his +2.
Oh, I'm assuming he added the +2.
I think that includes.
Yeah,
Yes, I
because he
did.
rolled a 4 and a 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, an 8 is enough. You find a decent place. It's the garage that was attached to kind of a set apart home. It's not, what's the word for that? I forget off the
Is
top of my
attached
head.
garage?
Yeah. Well, the home is detached, and there is a garage attached to it. So it's not like a brownstone, or it's a separate kind of ranch-style house. Unfortunately, most of that is burned down, but the garage appears to have been built out of cinder blocks. The door is open when you happen upon it, but it does appear with a couple of strong yanks that you might be able to get it to close to kind of seal you in from the weather. And then there's enough detritus around, you could probably start a small fire relatively easy to keep you warm.
Yeah,
we'll
need to eat.
Shunt all the drifted snow outside first.
Oh, sure, yeah. In fact, you probably find like a kind of frozen push broom in the garage that you're able to kind of beat on the ground a couple of times.
And I will attempt to disguise our tracks in there as well.
Okay. Yep. All right. So, are we going to keep watch, or are we just going to close the door and have everybody sleep, or what do you guys want to do?
I'll take first watch. I'll happily take the first watch.
Well,
Okay.
I think we share watches through the night. Doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if we have a slightly longer night because we're already in the hex that we're searching.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Tim, you automatically are able to find food for yourself, right? Water's not an issue because you basically just need to melt some water. Yeah, exactly. There's snow everywhere. You can boil it up in maybe a small pan or something like that, or maybe, at some point maybe you found a metal water container you can hold over a fire to boil it if you want to. But yeah, so water's not an issue. But Tim, you automatically find food. Kang doesn't need to eat today, so only Craig needs to use one of his rations.
Weren't we able to forage while we were searching, while we were scouting?
You can.
I think you said we could get one roll rather than two.
Correct. You will get one roll. So you can roll. Whoever wants to make the roll is going to make the roll based on. I think it's the party's total survival skill. So let me take a look at foraging again.
I think we're better benefit having skill of 0 than nothing.
So you're doing a half day. So wisdom, survive check, difficulty, on the table. And you find units of forage equal to 1d6 plus the sum of the group's survive skill levels. So who wants to make the foraging check? This is no help on this one. This is just one person rolling.
Well, I've got +0. Anyone got better than that?
I got +0.
I've got +1.
And you go, Tim.
Okay, so Tim, go ahead and make that survival roll.
And I get to make 2 rolls.
Correct, because it is foraging.
Is it a talent or a focus?
That's his focus.
This is based on int or whiz, yes?
Whiz, yeah. Okay, so you are in...
The first one was a 7. Try again.
That succeeds.
Okay.
So you get 1d6 units of forage plus the sum of the group's survive skill levels.
It's +1.
So if they're both at 0 and you're at 1, there's 1d6 plus 1. It can be food and or scrap.
We're just looking for food at the moment.
Okay.
So I'll roll 2d6, take the best one, and add 1.
Before you do that,
Yes?
do you want to hunt, or do you want to find non-perishable foods like boxes and cans?
Up to Kang. Hunting, we're likely to find more, but we would have to eat it before it goes off.
I would say for right now, we do the non-perishable. If we're going to be here longer, probably hunt.
Cans, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So 1d6 plus 1, or roll your 2d6 and use the best one.
Here we go.
Oh, there's a 6 right there.
7. So that's a 7.
So yeah, you managed to find some boxes, possibly some bags, maybe some noodles, and maybe some cans of beans, things like that. The dates on a lot of them they're getting close, but
they've been in cold storage for a long time.
They've been in cold storage for a long time, and a lot of those dates they're very conservative. Let's just put it that way. Right.
Let's get those into some backpacks then, boys.
So 7 to split up between you guys, however you want to.
Well, one of them gets used for Craig tonight.
Well, I've already taken mine out. I had 2 with me, and I've already reduced that to 1, so that's dealt with. We can just work with this.
Okay.
So you can boost yours up to 3, because you can bundle 3 rations as 1.
Yeah, so I'll take 2 and mine goes back up to 3. So there's 5 left for you two.
5 more between the two of you.
Okay,
I
well,
mean,
shall I take 3? I've got 7 spare capacity.
I would say do
why don't
that
you
and
take
just bundle it into one. Yeah, just bundle it to one so that only have to take one instead of like 2 or 3 slots.
Okay.
And then Kang, you can add 2 to the one you already have on your sheet.
Okay, that's fine.
Then I think there's one left over. Did you take 3, Tim?
No, that's it.
Is that 7? Is
You took 3. That's
I'm
it.
taking 3.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, he's
3,
gonna bundle
3,
it.
Or 3, 2, 2. Yeah.
3, 2,
So you
2,
all
that's
should
it.
have a
We've all got
3 bundled thing now. Okay, so you actually have enough food for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. Gotta make an encounter roll for the evening. No, you're not exposed. It's fine. It didn't happen anyway. Okay, so the wind kind of howling and maybe rapping against the old kind of aluminum garage door, and the fire burning low. Maybe it's a little bit creepy to be away from the place that you've begun to call home overnight. But
sorry, it's not. I've been like this
not
for the
for
last.
Tim.
Not for me.
Yeah. But nothing seems to happen. You don't hear or see when you look outside anything strange. The night passes by quite well, actually. Okay, so that is it for day 12.
That was day 12, yes.
now? Oh no, that was day 13.
That was day 13,
now we're on
yeah.
day 14. All right, so day 14.
More scouting.
Do you want to do the scavenging for the group up in?
Yep. Yeah.
The auto repair.
Should we keep them looking for food, or should we do like scavenge for like supplies? I mean, like tech stuff.
Well, they only found 15 rations, and there's 12 of us, so they found just over a day's supply.
Yeah, just over.
And it was with a very lucky roll. You got a critical.
We should do another day's food, Tim. You're right. We've done well today, but we should still do more food, I think. Even we need a couple of good days of food scavenging to make the number of people we've got now at the auto supply shop alright for even a few days. We need a lot of food. We're going through a dozen a day.
Okay, so I'm looking at foraging again, and I have been kind of nice to you on that past day, so I'm going to adapt it a little bit. We're still going to stick pretty much with what we've done, but yeah, so you guys are going to need to make luck saves for them. However, it was my mistake. You don't get technically 2 scavenges per day. You can either do a 5-hour half day of scavenging and then travel for 5 hours, or you could do a full 10-hour day of scavenging with, I believe, a bonus if you do the full day.
We're not in a new hex yet, so I don't think we should do a full day. When we're in a new hex, we should.
No, this is the
same one.
The auto repair shop.
Yeah.
Oh, is this for the other group? Sorry,
this is for you guys also. So if you had, I'm gonna let you keep what you rolled for this past evening, but if you had wanted to scavenge in addition to scouting, you would have had to use at least half the day of scavenging for food, and only do a half a day of scouting. And it takes 2 full days of scouting. So.
Well, why not? Because we only brought sufficient food to keep us going, then sensibly we did half a day's travel to get to here and then half a day's scavenging, and we're now set up to do 2 full days of scouting.
Yeah, we should do.
That's fine.
Yeah, a full day of scavenging in this hex now. Do you mean
So basically you have yesterday was a half a day of scouting the hex. Now you need to do a full day and a half a day. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so to go back to the workshop though. Yeah, each consecutive day brings it down. Full day rather than half day brings it down as well. That's what I thought. Okay, so Do you want your parties, before you have left, we'll say you've kind of instructed them on what to do before you left. Do you want them to spend the full day scavenging for food or just half of the day?
I would say full day.
I don't see why not. If they're just nearby to the place.
Okay.
And they're not
So
traveling.
this time, you're only going to make 2 saves for the 2 different groups. 1 for each. But since they're going to be scavenging for the entire day, they're going to get a bonus of +2 to the save.
Ooh,
if they only did
nice.
half a day, it would be a straight save. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
That makes
So,
sense.
who wants to make the saves? Are we going to go with Kang and Tim for the highest?
Let's make our more experienced characters do them, yes.
Okay, so each of you make a luck save with +2, since your groups are going out for the whole day.
Oh, that's
It's a
nice.
success for Kang. Not quite enough for
okay.
Tim. Okay.
Ooh.
So, I assume they're still, since you didn't say otherwise, they're still looking for non-perishable foods.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a D6.
Okay.
That's you, Max.
And that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, unlucky.
Okay. So
One.
they only found 1. That's not bad. I mean, you're up to 67 back at the base. Oh, no, except they would have needed to eat
Take
last
tea
night.
for a day, yeah.
So how many of them are left there?
It's
9?
9. Yeah.
But Sophia
down
is like
to-
Kang and only eats every second day. And yesterday was a 13, which is the odd numbers, and it's the odd numbers they don't eat on. So you can count 1 less for her.
Okay. So 8, so we're at 59. Okay. Cool. Alrighty, so that is that for them scavenging for today.
You've never give us a bonus on our scavenging rolls for having the dog with us. Surely that's given us a bonus on these rolls.
You mean we should have to feed the dog as well, so we're
No,
paying extra for
it
him?
feeds itself, but
He feeds himself.
I'm appealing for a bonus on our scavengers because it's sniffing out for us as well.
I'm sorry. We're looking for non-perishable food which doesn't smell.
I know.
It might.
This is a
And it
dog.
can.
It smells like a million times better than a human. It can sniff out Frosties and peanut butter and shit like that.
I'll think about it
Jerky.
as we move on.
You mean the sealed containers?
Absolutely, yeah. It can smell it.
Yeah, they better
plastic.
be
It's a
sealed.
dog.
If he's able to smell them, that's not good for cans. So
Oh,
at
no.
any rate, let me think about it. Maybe for today, though, you guys have camped. You have a nice campsite. You can, since you found a campsite in the hex, you can use this campsite again tonight, if you choose to.
And if we get any more chill breaks,
Yeah.
cold snaps.
Well,
Depends where
no,
we are.
because you would have to like travel back to it to get there in
Okay,
time.
good point.
Usually the
Mhm.
weather effects happen immediately. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, is your goal to just scout all day today to get a full day of scouting in?
Yes,
I would say good. That'd be a good idea.
Okay, so your first 5 hours, still taking your time and not leaving yourself exposed, passes by pretty uneventfully. You do kind of get into the southern part of the hex today, and you notice some more open spaces. Again, the green places on the map don't necessarily indicate wilderness, but they do indicate less urbanization, right? So buildings are more spread out. There might be some green swards here and there. Not that you can see any green because everything is covered in snow and all the grass is probably killed
Oh, yeah.
anyway. But there is some open spaces as you move through this area. The mall happens to be on kind of the edge of the dense urbanized area and the kind of more open suburban
as malls
kind of
and
area.
shopping estates tend to be, like on the edge of the suburbs.
Yeah, exactly. For your second 5 hours, again, time passes pretty well, uneventfully, I should say. You don't really see anything other than the snow. You do see dead trees here and there more often in kind of the southern part of this hex. Again, maybe here and there you see some buildings that don't seem quite as burned out. It might be worthwhile to spend some time scavenging in this hex later, but as of now, you definitely get the feel for the lay of the land. And by the time you return, to your camp garage for the evening, you feel like you'll be able to kind of knock out the rest of this. And in the morning before heading back, so yeah, you head back to your garage, I assume?
Yep.
Or do you want to find a new encampment?
Yeah. No, I think the garage is fine.
Again,
We're happy with that.
Okay.
Also, have I seen any signs of animal tracks today? I would have been keeping an eye out for them.
Sure. As you get into the less urbanized area, I would say that yes, here and there you do see some indications of deer and maybe some smaller animals, which it would make sense them encroaching on the less urbanized area of the city at this point. Where they're finding food, how they're finding food is another question. However, I will let you make a notice roll. Just for Tim, since he's actively looking for signs of animal life. Wisdom or intelligence, your choice. Okay. So, as you're scouting the hex, perhaps Kang and Craig maybe continue moving ahead of you. They didn't see what you've noticed. And obviously you don't want to get too far removed from your new companions. But you do find a perplexing sight. There is essentially a animal carcass in the snow. If you want to know exactly what it was, you can make a heal check or a survival check with intelligence. But it's been torn apart by something. Do you care, or do you want me to just... Oh, you are rolling, okay. So, alright. So, it's very clearly, although it's largely been... looks crushed and torn apart by teeth. I mean, obviously this was an animal, this was a predator kill, right? But you can still make out here and there, like, it looks like it was likely a squirrel of some kind, right? Not necessarily sure of the exact breed. I don't know what the exact breed would be in South America. I assume they have squirrels down there. Some kind of small rodent, right, that's appropriate to Buenos Aires. But what is perplexing to you is that although this is very clearly an animal kill, this is a predator kill, indications that the animal was crushed and that its flesh was torn apart by blunt teeth, in addition to the bovine tracks around the animal, indicates something strange to you that doesn't make a lot of sense. This looks like a cow or a bull has killed and consumed the squirrel. You're muted, David.
Herbivore going carnivorous or omnivorous. I will quietly call out to the others and call them back and point out the tracks and the evidence, just to demonstrate to them that things have changed. It looks like, I mean, as far as the tracks are concerned, that is cattle tracks, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, an animal which previously was just vegetarian, either this is an isolated incident, but since this is the first one we found with cattle tracks and we found a carcass, it doesn't look isolated. Wildlife's adapting to the situation. So what previously we may have thought was domesticated or safe animals may no longer be so.
Wave of realization comes over Craig when you're thinks about being attacked by cows and sheep, and that's what you're saying, isn't it? That domesticated and animals that were safe before because they only ate grass might be trying to eat us now because they've changed. Yes. That's some freaky shit, man.
Oh yes, it is. A lot of my knowledge from the forest may no longer be valid.
Craig pulls out a little notebook and starts writing.
Maybe not all of it.
Yeah, some of it though.
I forgot to mention, by the way, Brian, when we are out scavenging, Craig's all the time looking for a music shop or a pawn shop, somewhere where he might pick up a guitar, and he's really desperate to find a guitar.
Sure, I got you.
So if one comes up...
I will also tell you guys, I just received a text concerning some... Oh, there it is. Oliver, can we take a short break?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So, I believe we were in process of... Let's see, we got some survive checks.
Day 14,
we were
Tim's
talking
found a carcass.
about... Yep. So, as you all approach and Fallout approaches, Fallout starts to sniff around the carcass. Is anybody going to tell him not to eat it? Because he looks like he's about ready to start eating it.
I tell, like, I was like, ooh, like here, I'll give him a piece of jerky. He's like, you can eat that.
Yep. I'll prevent it as well, because there's no telling what else might be in that.
Don't
Okay,
let me eat that.
that's fair.
So as we're examining the body, that this is a human body or is it a creature?
No.
Squirrel.
It's like a small, probably a squirrel or maybe some kind of small local rodent.
It could be something cooler than a squirrel because we're in South America. It could be like a monkey, a small monkey or something. It could be all numbers.
Yeah, something like that. But whatever it was trampled by clearly some kind of bovine.
Okay.
Could be a small bull, could be a cow. And then as I'm sure Tim described to you, it looks like its flesh has been torn apart by blunted teeth, not the fangs that you would expect of a predator. So
I look over to Tim and I'm like, with you're dealing with different creatures, and you probably dealt with like cows and some herbivores. Does this make sense? Why would something eat like this, or would it just be something like with some of the mutations we had dealt with?
Could be a mutation, could be adaptation to lack of diet. Lord knows. But looking at it, does it look like it was practiced eating? In other words, it put a foot down on it and held it while it ripped stuff off, or does
Correct.
it look like it was it kind of just picked it up and shook it until some stuff ripped off?
No, it looks like
practiced.
It had a foot down and held it in place while it then ripped it apart to eat it.
So in other words, it's not spur of the moment. It's not something that's just happened. It's used to doing this.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. Is there tracks of one creature or is there multiple creatures?
I
It
was
might be
about
more
to
than one
ask
of these
that.
things.
Is
So
there
yeah,
only one set of tracks or several?
No, with your roll, I think it's fairly easy to tell. This appears to be a lone bovine of some kind. So whether or not it's a part of a larger group is difficult to say, but this is a single creature that crushed and consumed this smaller creature.
So what's the choice? Keep an eye out for it, and if we encounter, kill it, or?
Well, just keep an eye out for it. Certainly, with its weight alone, it's going to be a potential threat. Those things can knock you down quite easily.
Yeah.
Well, and it could be emancipated, or like it's like maybe shrunken in weight because of what its natural diet would be is a lot less, so it might not be as big, but it's still like a large creature.
It's going to be some sort of rabid. Cows aren't meant to eat meat. Like, it's going to be a crazy thing by the time you meet it. If we meet something like that, it's not going to be a good thing.
Maybe.
Well, we don't know what else the aliens have been doing to the ecosystem. They may have been spreading some other sorts of bugs amongst the creatures. We just need to keep an eye out on things.
Does he know the location where it was heading to?
Cow just is friendly. I mean, you could potentially track it, but again, knowing the snow, this looks fairly recent, right? So if it's still nearby, you could potentially track it, but if even a cow is on the move, it's going to be faster than a human being. It's a quadruped. It's going to be faster and more steady.
Looking at the spacing of the tracks leaving, is it walking or is it galloping?
Oh no, it's at a trot as it leaves. Yeah.
Right. Fine.
Interesting thing.
It's had its feed and then it's going somewhere with intent. We'll say it looks like that, right? So.
Which direction?
From your current location, I would say south.
Okay. So it's going like this way, down that way?
Yep.
So I thought we keep going east, like kind of circle around. You know what I mean?
Well, we're finishing scouting this hex, right?
Yeah, you have to go south to finish searching the hex. You're just kind of tackling the hex from the north down.
Okay, well, let's continue and just keep an eye out for mad bovines.
Okay. Did we this is still day 14, right? And
day 14,
so,
yes.
Yeah, so you found that. And now you're going to head back to the garage. Because there was no encounters. Okay. So same thing, somebody keeping watch all night, swapping out at need.
Well, if we're still going at Craig's speed, it's slower than normal, so therefore I have time to try and blot out our tracks.
It's only encounter speed, but I'm slower. Like,
but no, you can take the time to kind of cover your tracks, sure.
Yeah, well, I'll do that just to be on the safe side.
Again, Tim doesn't need to spend any food because he's managed to find something as you travel along the way.
I need to do one.
Kang does need to eat today because it's the 14th, so it's an even day. And Craig...
Yeah, I'm going to eat what I brought with me.
I've ate one of mine.
Alright, and so we'll do an encounter check for the evening. Yeah, the evening passes quite well. Again, it's always snowing, but the weather doesn't seem particularly bad, any worse than usual. Every morning as you open the garage door, you do have to kind of trudge through a drift that's kind of started to drift up against the side of the door. But yeah, so we're now into day 15, and you have...
You need to remember to do the food for the guys back at base.
So we can do that. You have half a day of scouting left in this particular hex, and then you'll be able to decide what to do after that. So yeah, let's get a roll from Tim. Again, a luck save, +2, since you're going to have them go out every day and do stuff for the base, for the two groups that go out.
Nope.
Okay, I will do mine. And this is at a +2? Or no?
+2. Yep. Yes,
Okay.
+2.
Spend it all day doing it.
Also a fail.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Also, while I'm thinking about it, so this is technically your third day out. So I'm gonna go in real quick and Reduce Abigail's stress by
stress.
3. And reduce Charlemagne's stress by 3.
It's a good thing about giving Charlemagne the rest. He gets to reduce his stress while I'm out with somebody else.
Yeah, is there any chance I could use a stress ball for myself right now, or?
Yeah, if you want. Again, it's only once per session, not once per day, but yes.
Oh, no, that's not, yeah, that's what I want to do. Just kind of, pew, pew, pew.
Okay, so, you guys finished scouting this particular hex. You know, obviously, your characters don't know exactly when you finish scouting the hex, but you know. And so, this hex is considered scouted. I will update the map before next session. I can never do that. Is that something I
did we
manipulation for?
Did we want to head back and report what we found?
What was agreed with Charlemagne? Because if
did you guys?
I thought we just agreed to scout the hex to the south, and then tell everybody what we found.
Okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to stay out longer than Charlemagne's expecting, in case they decide they have to send a rescue party.
So to that end, and this is something I've been doing as well, David. The 3 of you can decide a point of interest for me to add to the map that you discover while you scout this hex.
Oh, like in another location or in the same spot?
Another location.
Oh, in another location.
It's not in this hex. It's in a nearby hex.
In another one, so we can build something for next session. How about a guitar shop or a pawn shop or something with some guitars in it? A guitar shop, music shop would be excellent.
I know Craig really wants that, but there was some talk about like a library, a government building with records. The 3 of you need to decide.
Well, I was looking for something with more information to try and help us to target our scouting.
A tourist centre or something.
Yes.
Tourism centre.
Okay, tell you what. Since Craig has
or a better business place, you know, where businesses
business
are.
Directory, yeah.
Which
Which
might include locations of music shops.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's like a mini mall. There could be like a little mini mall where there's like this little small shops on it. There could be something like that. Like, you know, like you have like a little mini mall.
Yeah. I think what we'll do is, first of all, we'll have Craig make a luck save. Because he's really intent on finding a music shop.
Yeah. Or a pawn shop. You get guitars in a pawn shop. Luck save.
That's usually the last one. That's the last save.
Ooh, bag on.
That's like right there. That's right there where you needed it.
So you do think you see what looks like some kind of a music store, or maybe an instrument store, or like maybe someplace where they do lessons. You see in the distance. We will say, roll a d6 for me, real quick. Okay, so we'll say in this hex. Oh, I can't ping it because I'm not on the right thing.
Was that like right here? Oh,
no. In this hex,
okay,
you see like a building that has a large kind of like, it looks like a neon sign that's like a trumpet or something like that.
Okay.
It's not lit.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you that impression, but it looks like a very large kind of, probably a music store or an instrument store, repair, or something like that.
I know what way I'm going to try and get the guys to go tomorrow.
Let me try and do right there. And then, so this is scouted, so put an X there. Now, in addition to that, let's have Tim roll a d6 for me. Okay.
6.
So, in this hex, the same as the one with the church, you see, it looks like kind of like a dome type structure. Could be a government building, could be a library, but it looks like it's intact. And we will say right about here.
Sorry, what was the X?
The X is just to remind me that that hex is scouted.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. So you have 5 hours left on this particular day. That would be enough to return home, or you could move into another hex.
Well, I'd suggest we return home and notify everybody, because I don't believe we said we were going to be out for more than one hex's worth.
We can always come back out, but I think we're heading back to Charlemagne to report what we've done and what we've seen and what we found.
Okay.
And then go back out again for the next day, but yeah, heading back. Craig really wants to see that trumpet.
All right.
So... Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
hazardous weather as you travel back.
Oh, great.
We're going to say it happens roughly, well, we'll see how long it occurs for. Ooh, 2 hours.
Ooh, freak lightning storm.
Oh.
That's the first one.
Anyone not undercover and in the open for more than a turn has 2 in 6 chance of getting struck by lightning once each hour. If struck, they must make a physical save or die. If they succeed, their system strain is maximized and they are knocked unconscious. So,
damn.
Would you like to find cover from the lightning storm?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
So unfortunately, I don't know how close we are to that one
die. Save or die. Yes. Don't like the sound of that.
As you guys are traveling through the streets, heading back home, you're traveling through 2 well-scouted areas, but about halfway there, you can't really see it rolling in because it's always snowing, but the sky definitely gets darker, and darker than than what you're used to for the sun setting, and it's not time for that yet. And then off in the distance, you can hear and feel lightning strikes hitting the city.
Static electricity's gone up, right?
Yeah, I know. All out freaking out.
Very similar to what you have experienced each time one of the waves of radiation has passed over the Earth and caused these lightning strikes. You're not unfamiliar with this over the past several years. Sometimes these things just happen, but you definitely have learned by now to take cover. So you could keep walking in the open, or you can take cover for 2 hours.
Nah, cover for sure, eh, boys?
I'm not gonna get shot by lightning.
Yeah, I don't fancy save or die.
So I'm not going to make you make a roll for this because you would definitely feel it rolling in. It's just a matter of finding a place to hunker down. You just literally need to find something that'll cover your head. So you have time before the storm hits to get under some cover. You might not all be in the same place. You guys can kind of scatter a little bit if you need to make sure that you've got something over your heads. But yeah, we won't make you roll for that. You guys basically just have to hunker down for a couple of hours until the storm passes. Luckily, you were probably about halfway home. We'll say that you can make it home, but it'll be after dark when you get home. Okay. However, because you got held up by the lightning storm, I am going to make the night encounter check with you guys out in the open and not camped. To see if anything happens to you before you make it back to the auto repair shop.
That's fine.
And it doesn't.
No.
So, after the storm passes, it doesn't just end. The lightning kind of just moves over the area, and after you're fairly certain the lightning is quite some distance off, I guess storms in the southern hemisphere probably move west to east like they do here. Do storms move west to east on you guys' side of the Pacific? I assume they do. I'm just gonna say it moves west to east. So by the time it's moved off,
meteorologist, mate, I've got no idea. Can't even
oh
say
yeah, where I
meteorologist.
live, storms always
Meteorologist.
move west to east. It's always
Yeah, they do.
west to east.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I can't even manage to say the word meteorologist, so no, I can't help you.
So yeah, after some time, and you hear the hits kind of moving off in the distance, you don't quite feel that static electric buzz anymore. You come out, you find each other. Fallout pops his head back out. He went somewhere to hide, and you head back to base. And I don't know. Do you guys have a call or a signal to give to the person on the roof as you approach the auto repair shop? Kang.
I mean, it'd probably be obvious with the dog right there. This you have like point at the dog. It's like Fallout. It's like roof.
Fallout might be a little hard to see in the snow.
Yeah, he's white.
He is white.
Or he's white and grey next to the dirty snow, so he's really hard to see.
Right. So you signal your scout on the roof and or your watcher on the roof, which we'll say right now is Charlemagne, and you knock on the front door, and somebody who is working on the greenhouse comes over, and it's evening, so your parties would be back by now as well. So everybody's back, and welcomes you back, asks you if you found anything. People just chattering as you make your way into the repair shop for the evening. I should configure this to always be available to you. I'll do that later. So yeah, you're back, and you have brought some food with you if you want to put any of that in the kitty, or if not.
Yep, I'll transfer mine in.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
But you're also going to need to eat tonight.
Yeah.
So
I've picked
might
up
as well.
I've picked up something on the way.
Yeah, you've picked up something, but Kang needs to eat. So does Craig. So you can eat what you have on you before you.
Yeah, that's the one I got left.
So I'll just change mine from 2 to 1, and then I'll change it to 0. I can't change it to 0. I'll need to delete it, and I'll drop 1 back in the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thing.
I've added my 3 back into the stock.
All right. And 1 more from Craig, and then -9 for everybody back at base.
I added 1 to the thing manually.
Okay. We're at 54. Okay.
We're surviving.
Oh, and we're down to, let's see, you're out 3 days. So
how many days are left on the greenhouse
coming
project?
along. 8 days left.
8 days left on the greenhouse.
All right. So yeah. I assume you let everybody know about the. I'll say you don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to say it's a library with the domed ceiling. Definitely a good place to get information.
Mm-hmm.
And the music place.
Definitely a good place to get firelighters.
Yeah.
Sorry, the library. I meant the library.
Right. Okay, so what's your plan for the morning?
Well, up to Charlemagne, but looking at the food stocks when we left and the food stocks when we got back, looks like you need to consider mass food gathering or hunting or something. Although
more of the same.
I will tell everybody what we found in terms of carcasses, and hunting, we may have to be careful what we find.
So they, unless anybody stops them, I would imagine somebody would inform you that they have hunted some deer in the area before and consumed it and had no apparent effects on anyone. But they may not be affecting the deer. They didn't see any indication that the deer was hunting small creatures. What's that?
Or was mutated or in any way or anything like that?
Yeah, no indication that it was mutated. Now,
well, I suppose it could be an outbreak of some particularly virulent mad cow disease.
It could be, but also, like you said, it could be an adaptation, right? Like, if your food source is gone, it's not outside of the realm of scientific possibility.
That's how it would evolve. Its next step of evolution would be eating meat. That's how animals evolve from one thing to another, is through circumstance changes, isn't it?
Right. Now, I'm sure somebody would tell Tim also, and Tim may have seen this in his travels as well, that there have been some indications of mutation in some of the wildlife. Obviously, I'm sure they've told you the story about the father by this point, who is a person with a mutation.
Yeah, his leg was all mad, like tree bark or like scales or something.
Well, not only was his leg like that, you saw him leap 20 meters into the air off of that leg.
Yeah.
Like, he jumped straight up 20 meters from the floor of a church to the mezzanine of a church.
Yeah, like it wasn't just like a John Merrick situation. He had superpower in it as well.
Yeah. And Fallout has come back a few times with his kills for the evening, and one time I think I said it was a rat with two tails, and another time it was some other kind of small mutated creature. So mutations are happening. I don't know that anybody in your immediate group has any signs of mutation yet. But
not that we've noticed anyway.
You're also all that. Yeah, not that you've noticed. I don't know that you're all that.
We would have discussed that if we had noticed that.
Right. So, yeah. So, we've got a situation where we've got a couple of new places to look at, although I'm going to need to, put those together, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I know Craig really wants to go to that music shop, but that's not going to happen.
So next session, the music shop, I think.
We can discuss that at the end of this session. Do you want to spend a day or two just having everybody scavenge for food and supplies?
Shall we?
Or do you want to scout another hex?
What do you think, boys?
I think, given that it's going to take 3 days to scout another hex, 3 days of food supplies, if the people back home don't have any luck in scavenging, that would cut their food reserves in half.
Well, with the supplies that you have, technically, if you scout a hex next to you, it's only going to take 2 days, because you can immediately move into that hex and start scouting. You just won't be able to do any scavenging while you're in there. You just need to go in and focus on scouting.
Okay, well, 2 days would be 18 supplies for the people back home, plus
roughly,
plus 3 for us. So that would be 21. That would still leave us sufficient cushion that we could then do a full-scale scavenge, or forage.
Yeah.
Up to you. I'm new to the group, so I will go with whatever Charlemagne decides is best.
Well, I'm no longer role-playing Charlemagne, so what does Charlemagne say, Games Master?
Oh no, you guys have to make the decision. You can decide as Charlemagne.
Charlemagne.
I'm not telling you what to do.
Charlemagne's happy with whatever Tim and Kang think when it comes to this, because Tim and Kang, you've been put in charge by Charlemagne of this scavenging hunting. And he's happy with what.
Scouting another hex is going to be another point of experience, and the possibility of more locations. If you're concerned about food, you can potentially scout a source of food, right? You'll recall how much food you found in the supermarket.
Should we scout a hex?
Well, I'll say, do we want to search the one that's on the southeast of us? That's like right over here?
Technically, you could still do
the problem
this
with the
one
one
as well and be south of the hospital. So you could go here, here, and here
this one
in the next 2 days to scout. Of course, Greg wants to do that one.
I'd say the one to the southeast of us.
Yeah.
Because to the southwest, we know the church is there. May not be in use at the moment, but we don't know what's happened to the father's lot, do we?
No, that's true.
No, we don't. We've never seen them since that first incident, and we think we saw one or two of their bodies in the police station, though, don't we?
Well, there was one that was alive too that got away from.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Yeah.
Okay, so southeast then.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we know our process. We're just going to go in and scout, no scavenging this time.
And is this day 16 it's going to be now?
It'll be day 16, so Kang's going to need food for at least one day.
I'm going to need food
and Craig's
as well.
going to need food for 2 days.
Give me 1 second, we're going to have to take some food out of a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, can you add a non-perishable food to my sheep? Sorry, because I've removed it.
I've updated it, so you should be able to move it yourself now.
I've got it. Thank you.
Okay,
I'll take 2 off the total up here.
I took 1.
Got it.
Okay. Sounds good. So, moving into that hex in the next morning, we'll start with your scavenging team still looking for food. Do you want them to hunt for non-perishable food or not? Again, non-perishable food is not going to go bad super fast because you guys can cool it.
We've got a fridge,
pretty easily. You've got, well, the fridge doesn't work, but like you can bring in blocks of snow and ice, and that cooler case is sealed, so it would work very well.
Yeah, I think
you're going to get more.
Well, if they're more likely to find
hunting.
food by hunting, then be best to go with that. And
so there's just a chance of finding.
And use the non-perishable as, use the non-perishable as a backup, and hunt for perishable.
Plus, we have bows, crossbows, and rifles. We might as well hunt. We might as well take advantage of what we've got to get the best.
Bows and crossbows, please. Keep the rifles, rifle ammunition.
Okay, so in that case, since you're going to be hunting in this particular hex, okay, got that. So let's go ahead and make some luck saves. +2 because they're spending the whole day doing it.
Okay.
This will be for day 6.
Okay.
Yes, you 2 again. That's not so great. That's much better. Nice one, Dave.
Okay.
So, Tim, you're going to roll 2d6 for food. Or I guess... Oh, no, you don't get to use your focus because you're not with them. So, 2d6 for perishable food.
7.
There you go, 7 again.
Right, 7's more than none.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody updating the sheet. I got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 perishable. All right, so for you guys, you're just scouting today, so we'll do an encounter check for the first 5 hours. Nothing. Encounter check for the second 5 hours. Again, so you're able to move into this southeastern hex and begin scouting it with no real ill happenstance. You do see the music store, which maybe Craig spends a little bit of time gazing at lustily. But he understands that right now the goal is just to scout the hex. You've marked its location, you know where it is. And so you continue on throughout the day and have no real issues scouting the hex. Does somebody want to make a... or how about all three of you make survival rolls? We'll just do all three of you and see who does the best to find a place to bed down for the night. Saves time trying to figure out who's helping who.
Me.
Well, those aren't great.
Those are not great.
Those are cool.
No, mine's not even better.
So, you're not really able to find a lot of cover. You're going to have an uncomfortable night. But you find a place that you... Go ahead.
I have a reroll. I have an edge that rerolls things. I think it might be a good reroll.
Do you?
Good time to reroll. Yes, masterful expertise. Once per scene, as an instant action, reroll a failed check for a non-combat skill.
Okay, yeah, give it a reroll.
So,
do it.
let me try to see if
Survive
I can
is
do
definitely
better.
a non-combat skill. Oh, that's better.
That's
okay,
definitely better.
So,
That's definitely better.
so you are
have
able to
something.
find a building that's largely intact. It's got a couple of floors, but the upper floors are kind of fallen in, but the first floor is still largely okay, and you find an interior room that you're able to... still has a door on a hinge and maybe close up, so you're able to rest fairly safely. Oh, that reminds me.
Need to do a day's food.
You guys spent a night at your base, so anybody who has system strain is able to reduce their system strain by 1.
Oh, so mine goes down to 0.
Yep.
And I'll need to take a day's food off again, because that's us just done another day.
Yep, you take a day off. Kang
This is a
takes
even
a
number day, so
day
it
off
does have
because
the,
it's the 16th. And Tim's fine. We'll roll for the evening. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a thing.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Glad we have the dog. Ears pop up and it's like, what are you here, boy? What is it?
Yeah, you know, you have Fallout with you. I will give you the benefit of Fallout. So as you are probably in the middle of the night, whoever's on watch, let's say all of you roll a d6. Whoever rolls the highest, or no, whoever rolls the lowest is on watch.
5.
D6.
Okay, so
Gang
far.
so far.
I rolled it, but nothing happened. Hang on.
Yeah, give it another roll.
Gang.
Okay, so Kang is on watch, and maybe you're messing with your equipment a little bit, maybe trying to sharpen your blade or doing a little work on your pistol, and Fallout, who's kind of resting on the floor next to all of you, his head perks up and you see his ears kind of twitching. Now you're in an interior room. There's no window, but there are windows out of the building if you want to step out of this room and see if you can see what's going on.
So I look at the other two. How are they looking? Like, you know, are they like? So I look at. Okay, so I call over to the follow and just open up the door where I can look outside, and me and him sneak out and shut the door behind me and slowly get to a closer area so we can look outside.
Okay, so why don't you give me a stealth check? Or sorry,
Yay! Sneaky. I'm very sneaky. One.
Better roll well after saying that. Hey, very nice.
Okay. So you and Fallout kind of sneak to one of the front windows, and you can see movement out in the snow. Give me a notice roll.
Okay.
The moon is bright, and it's reflecting off of the white snow outside.
So does I get a bonus from that or no?
No.
You're just
Make
not
your
getting apparently.
Okay. And you can see kind of across the street, moving in such a way that they seem to be following something, maybe looking down. You see a figure in a red cloak or coat, a red hood.
Huh.
Now, he doesn't appear to be approaching the building that you're in. Do you let him pass?
Oh, I'll let him pass and just watch where he goes because, the less we have to deal with him, the better. So it's like, we don't mess with him, they won't mess with us. So he's just watching which way he's going, just giving general ideas like, hey, I seen one move this way, so it'd be something later on he can worry about.
So he is moving to the north.
Okay.
He does appear to be tracking something, though. You can, from how you've seen Tim move and your maybe not as great but little experience with survival, he appears to be tracking something.
Okay, I'll keep that note and I'll talk to Tim in the morning and see if he can look at that, check that out.
Okay. It is snowing, and it will snow.
Well, I understand. I understand, but at least to give us an idea, is like if there's something around there, just to get at least just to know that of it.
All right, so you make a mental note of where you saw him kind of moving across the street, and head back in and go back to sleep.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Excellent. So as you, oh yeah, that'll be marked. So fun little thing, I do progressive random encounters. So every time a random encounter happens, I have to remove it and replace it with something else that may or may not be connected to another random encounter, so that they continue to evolve as we play.
Yep.
Forget where I picked that up from, but it's a nice way to have like ongoing stuff happen, but still be random. Okay.
Nice.
So next time we might have a cow trampling a red hand.
So
probably.
I haven't added any carnivorous omnivores yet, or carnivorous herbivores, but they're definitely going to be on the list at some point in the near future. Okay, so as you wake the next morning, Kang, I'm sure, informs him and Craig.
Oh yeah.
Right? There's no reason why you wouldn't tell Craig what you saw last
Yeah,
time.
I just let him know that. I've seen the guy in red, so I don't know if it's part of the same crew or group, but I know right there, and he basically points to the location. And looks like he's heading north, and he's tracking something like.
I guess not everybody who wears red has to be a part of the Red Hand. Some of you might have some red in your clothing.
Although anyone wearing red will now be sus.
Right.
Or they could be a red shirt, and then you start hearing. Okay, never mind.
So, do you guys want to inspect where this person was tracking something, or do you want to get about your day? This won't take away from your scouting. It won't take up.
Yeah,
enough
no, I think
time.
I'll just say this.
I'm interested.
I think we should
Okay.
check it out.
So you pack up camp, kick out the ashes on your fire. I'm normally going to assume that there's enough just random wood and stuff around for you guys to start a fire, so I won't make that a problem unless you're like way out in the frozen wastes. But there's plenty of stuff around. So you head out, you go across the street. Without a roll, it looks like something or things passed this way, but again, it's been snowing all night. A lot of it's filled in. I'm gonna need a pretty significant survival roll from somebody to see if you can tell anything about these tracks, other than based on what Kang said, they're heading north.
Nominate you, Tim. This is you again. Like, this is your field of expertise.
I'm assist, definitely.
Okay, so make the assistance roll first.
Can we assist? Can we?
For Kang. You can try, yeah. Make those rolls first before Tim does.
Rolling?
Survive.
Survive.
Intelligence or wisdom.
Yeah, I have it.
Nope. Nope. Unfortunately, no, not this
Zero
time.
help.
I am.
But surprisingly, Craig is helpful, so Tim will get a +1 bonus to his roll.
Thank you, Craig.
Happy to be of some assistance.
But unfortunately,
so Craig is kind of pointing out something here and there. With a 6, I'm going to say that, you know, it is fairly apparent to you that someone on foot passed through here. They were moving slowly, and it looks like something else passed through here, neither of which were making any attempts to cover their tracks. There's no indication of any brushing or covering of tracks in any way. But unfortunately, the snow continued throughout the night, and the tracks have mostly filled in. You don't really see any other indications of what might have happened, just that something has passed by to the north.
Okay. They might not have been making any attempt to cover their tracks, but were they moving in a sneaky manner, kind of going from cover to cover, or just walking up the street?
So from what you can tell, the first set of tracks, and there are only about 2 sets of tracks. We're not talking about a large grouping passing through. So from what you can tell, the first set of tracks appears to be moving in a fairly straight line, not in the street, kind of among the buildings, along sidewalks, maybe trying to keep cover, or maybe just trying to stay out of the weather. There might be some sign of intelligence there. The second set of tracks is just following the first, which is what Kang indicates he saw last night.
Fair enough. Let's finish searching this, scouting this hex, and then
Absolutely.
we can go back to base.
So, first 5 hours of the day, nothing going on. Second 5 hours, nothing going on. So again, you spend your full 10 hours today scouting the hex. You're able to really get a good feel for it. There are some less urbanized portions of this hex, but this is still largely an urban type setting. No real geographical figures stand out to you, which is not a surprise considering you have a map and you've seen some things. No parks or lakes or bodies of water of anything like that. But you do, as with any hex that you scout, do potentially find something. So, what do you 3 want to find?
Can I make a suggestion?
You can, of course.
Yeah, like, you know, we had a problem with our greenhouse, maybe a possible farm, because I'm sure there's maybe some kind of farmland, maybe up to the northeast right there. Because with that location, there's water over there. I mean, the way the map shows.
Farm.
Everybody else fine with that?
Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing to be finding. A farm in the middle of the city, especially, would be interesting.
Sorry, it would be an urban farm, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's right in the middle of the city.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we find a set of allotments or something, so like a row in between 2 streets where it's just all allotments with plants and shit, gardens.
Or who knows? You know, that will be for me to design, essentially. So, farm of some kind?
Yeah, I would say probably see like a giant barn. Like, you know, if you see a barn, it might either be like something.
Yeah, this is more, like David said, this is more inner city.
An urban something.
Yeah.
Even in this hex. But you might see some indication of like grain silos or something like that. Maybe
or
not a massive barn, but
a polytunnel or something maybe.
Yeah, something like that. So we'll say something catches your eye over there that looks pretty agricultural in some way.
Okay.
I'll think more on that before we get into our next session. So that will be here, and we have scouted this hex. So that's 2 hexes scouted. We're hidden on 3rd hour here, so I think we're probably going to wrap up, right?
Yeah, do our XP.
You head back to base.
Yep.
Yeah, I said we head back to base.
Or do you want to end out here in the waste? Head back to base. Okay.
No, I think
I say head back.
Get back to base. We might as well start the next session there. That way, when Brian's playing, he can join us with his character.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what we have discovered in this session, we've scouted 2 hexes. So everybody's going to get 2 points of experience.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps anybody level or not.
Are we still doing the one where you get for actually being here?
Oh, and you get a point of experience for participation.
That's
so everybody
3 for
gets
me.
3 points of experience.
17,
I think I only need 3
18.
for level 2. I think I've leveled up already, yeah.
Yep, I'm level 5.
You should, yeah. Okay, so Kang hits 5. Craig should hit 2.
Is that it?
I think Tim hits
Is there
3,
any other
doesn't he?
XPs? Or just those ones?
Tim was already 3. He's now got
Tim
9.
was 3 already.
He's now got 9 experience.
Okay, so he's getting close to 4, but not quite there yet.
Was that all the XP, was it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you didn't have any death-defying encounters or anything like that. The weather is more of a hazard. I don't really give experience for the weather.
Level 2.
Okay, so let us then very quickly we'll start next session in this evening, returning to base, so we can worry about food and all that stuff next session.
Okay.
For now, though, let's handle the 2 level ups real quick. So Craig is going to need to roll his hit dice.
Who else is going up? Tim? No, Kang.
No, Tim didn't go up. Just Kang and
I did.
Craig.
I'm opening
So
Kang's character sheet as an observer.
let's see. Craig does not have anything that would affect this, so Craig's just going to roll 2d6 to see if he can get some more hit points.
Come on.
Wow.
That's 12. Nice.
Max hit points at level 2.
That's amazing, dude. That's really good.
Well, that's going to be hard for him to beat, though. For
Changes
the
to
next
12,
couple
doesn't it?
levels,
My
probably.
4 changes to 12.
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay. Also,
Nice.
you should now have 3 skill points to spend.
Okay.
And at level 2, you're going to get another edge, I believe. Or maybe it's a focus. And that all happens automatically. Oh yeah, new focus. Your
Focus
next
is it?
edge pick is going to be at level 3.
Looking at some stuff, seeing what I think would be cool.
Kang, you
Rouge.
want to roll your hit points?
Oh, that was what I was waiting.
So
Have it
5d6.
ready right there. Oh, that's gonna be good. Hey, that's 2 points higher
16.
than I had. That's 2 points higher than I had. That works for me.
Quite like
And,
this one. Spark of Brilliance.
Spark of Brilliance is a good one.
Gain any
No,
skill
that's-
as a bonus skill. Pick 3
Yeah.
skills relevant to your background or concept, and once per day as an instant action, treat one of those skills as level 4 for the rest of the scene. Doesn't last long enough to undertake prolonged effort such as gear construction or mod maintenance, but it's enough time for surgery or repair. I quite like that as a performer, Spark of Brilliance.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty potent.
Yeah, let's take that. So I drag it over, don't I?
Okay. So you drag it over. And then you need to pick, you get a bonus skill for that.
So can I can,
You can do
and that-
whatever you
as a
want.
bonus skill, it can be something that I've already got, can't it? And it just increases that. So say if I've got perform as a +1, if I pick perform, it makes my performer +2. Or should I be picking a new skill?
What level are you? No, you're level 2. You can't do that. So you probably want to pick a new skill. Here's the thing, though. The bonus skill that you select doesn't have to be one of the 3 skills that you can use Spark of Brilliance with.
Okay, I'm going to take Survive and put my Survive up from 0 to 1. Can I do that?
Okay, that's fine.
So do I just click on my
Survive
and make it and click rank 1, don't I?
Yep.
Or no, just put the level up.
Just put the level up, yes.
Yeah, don't click Specialist.
Yeah, it's not rank 1.
Okay.
Okay, so that's your bonus skill.
That's my bonus
now,
skill.
what are the 3 skills that you want to be special?
Perform, talk, and connect. So once per scene, I can make one of them as like it's level 4.
Okay, there you go. I've added it. Perform, talk, connect for Spark of Brilliance.
Damn. Okay.
Okay, and then you have 3 skill points to spend. Keep in mind, buying a new skill at 0 is 1 point. Upgrading a skill to +1 is 2 points. And that's the highest you can go right now at level 2.
When you're upgrading a stat, an attribute.
Oh, yeah. The first stat upgrade is 1.
What's the cutoff for?
The second is 2.
For a +2 bonus, is it 15? Because I might put my wisdom and intelligence both up.
No.
I think it's 14.
Is it 16?
No. +2 bonus is 18.
+2 is 18. All right, okay.
Yes.
So there's no point putting a 14 to a 15 isn't going to give me a plus.
No.
Okay, what can I put skill points in then? I can just put these into skills, can't I?
Yeah, now keep in mind, you don't have the shoot skill right now. You might want to pick that up.
I'm going to take shooter. So where are skills in the book to drag across?
Under character.
Character. Skills. Yep. Yeah, so I'll take 1 in shoot. I'm going to take 1 in stab because he carries a knife and I haven't got anything in that either.
Okay. And then you have 1 more point.
So that puts them both on a 0. I think I want to... Can I take 1 in survive? And put it up to 2?
No, that would cost 3 points,
right,
and
okay.
You're not high enough level to do that yet.
Connect, that's on 0. Can I put that up to 1?
That would cost 2 points. You
That
only
would
have
cost
1
2.
point left. You can save your 1 point.
Nah, he doesn't have anything in heal. I'll take heal at level 1, at level nothing, at level 0.
Okay, that'll let you use a first aid kit. That'll
Yep.
be handy. Which I'll also point out, you might want to fix this since you guys are back at base, but none of you were carrying a first aid kit that whole session. If things went poorly, you would have been in trouble.
It says here skill points spent 2, but I've just spent 3, haven't I?
Yeah, so I just bumped it up 1 more for you.
Sweet.
Okay, so that's it for you.
That's me done.
Kang, if you want to look at Kang now, Kang's already done his hit points. At level 5, Kang is going to receive his final.
Level 5, check you out.
Kang, I think at level 5 is going to receive his final edge and another focus. You get a focus and your final edge at level 5.
So my final edge is gonna be masterful expertise because it's gonna be useful, especially with like my fixie skills or whatever I'm doing, non-combat skills. Quite useful.
Okay.
And the foci I'm doing is, let me see this, Scrapsmith. I'm gonna do a level 2.
Taking Scrapsmith level 2, are you?
Because with level 2 you can repair and damage weapons, armor, or personal equipment without needing to use the scrap, and can fix a whole party's gear in 15 minutes When you break down an object for scrap, you get 50% more scrap from it rounded down.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty handy. I want to make sure I'm doing this right with the...
Oh, with the level up?
Yeah, I think I am. Edges are a little bit weird because we're doing enhanced characters, so...
Yeah.
Gifted survivors... Yeah. Bonus edge when the character reaches 3rd level.
Mm-hmm.
Thus they would have 2 at 1st level, 3 at 3rd, and 4 at 5th. Yeah, that's correct. Okay.
That's totally fine. That works for what I'm gonna do.
So
and
Tim is 3rd level, is he not?
I think
Yep, Tim's
almost 4th level. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Tim's
and he
third.
did take his 3rd edge. He took cold blood. That's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yep, that makes sense.
I think all I have now is skill points, but I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I want to increase my constitution from 12 to 14, and that's going to cost 3 of my health points.
1 the first time and 2 the second time.
Yeah, so it should leave me 1 behind.
Have you spent any on that yet? I don't think that you have.
No, I haven't.
So it's just 1 point, 1 skill point for you to increase. What are you increasing? Your constitution?
Yeah, I want to get the constitution at least to a 14, so it gives that a +1.
Oh, I see. So, I hate to be mean. You don't get to boost it twice in the same level.
Oh, no, so that's totally fine. I just didn't know if I can't do that one,
so
that's fine.
You can go to 13 now. Well, you know what?
Okay.
Max level is 10 anyway. That doesn't make sense, and that's not in the rules. So yeah, I mean, if you want to spend, so it's going to cost you 1 point to go up 1,
and then 2 the
and
second.
then it'll cost you 2 points to go up. So it'll cost 3 of your 4 skill points to take your con to 14 if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do, and I was going to save that last point.
That makes your Constitution bonus 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that will also make your current hit points 19. No.
Ooh, nice.
Nope. 21. Because you
yeah.
retroactively add it for all of your levels. You're level 5.
Mm-hmm.
5 more hit points. 21.
Nice.
That's worth it. That was worth the 3 points. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so the way with
you're saving a skill point. Okay.
Okay. So what's going to happen with me is now Kang has gotten to the point where he's this level, and I have Scrapsmith 2, and we have so much scrap to break down. I'm gonna leave him here when we run the next game and have Jacob go out.
Switching characters.
Okay, we'll figure that out.
Cool.
So characters are updated. We are at the evening of day 16.
17.
Which we will... No, it's day 16.
Is it?
Oh no, it is 17. You're right. That means, you know, what we didn't do at the beginning of day 16 when you went out, or we missed 1 day of camp stuff. So
yeah,
let's have them scavenge real quick or hunt. Do you want them to hunt again?
Let's go
Hunt,
for
I
hunting
think.
again.
Oh,
Okay, so
Okay.
let's get Tim and Kang to roll a save. It's fine. It's already
Okay.
going to update them for your level, but that's fine.
yeah.
+2 still because they're taking the full day. So that's a success from Kang. That is a fail from Tim. So Kang gets to roll 2d6 for for perishable food that they bring back from a hunt.
Oi, oi, oi.
11.
Oh, 11.
Whoa!
That's good. That's good. That's at least good for a night.
Very nice.
Okay, so 18 perishable, 54 non-perishable, and we'll handle overnight on day 17 when we get back.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Or next session, rather. Okay. So, a lot of stuff went down. How close is Tim to the next level? How much experience does he have?
I have 9.
9. I think next level for you is
12 was a
12,
level,
if I
wasn't it?
recall correctly.
Yeah, I think it's like a 12. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And no stress this week for anybody.
Yeah, no stress this
Yeah,
week.
nice,
Well,
nice.
you
It
didn't.
was a nice, easy week this week. I feel like we did a lot
Did,
without very much sweat.
Charlemagne manage to bring down the stress of the people in the in base?
He would do, yeah. He gets a roll on that every day.
Well, no, since
Or is that
they're
only if he's
off,
active?
Oh,
no,
right,
since
yeah,
they're
yeah.
off, they automatically get it. So,
Yeah, it's a day off per point.
Well, the people that are back at base are reducing one per day anyway for being back at base.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it'll be 2 more down for Charlemagne. So he's currently at 0, and Abigail 0. Yeah, I think they were the only ones left that had any stress.
Nice, so the wee day off for them. A couple of days
Yeah.
off.
Okay.
I'm enjoying my new character.
So yeah, that's I think where we'll call it for today.
Alright.
And one last question. So you're back at base. Obviously, you have some options now. There's a library. There's a music store. There's some kind of farm. The mall I'm still working on. I'm not quite done with yet. But if you really want to go there next session, I'll try and push it out. Where do you guys want to explore next session, assuming you want to get back to exploration of sites?
One solid vote for music shop right here.
I say
If
the
you
farm.
hit the music shop and someplace else, we could probably do the music shop relatively quickly,
Okay.
because that'll be a small location,
I would take that
and
and
then
the other
you
one
could
that we saw in
probably
that
move
hex,
on to another
or-
one.
Or
Well,
the
if we
farm,
if we
which
do the
was in
music
next
shop
hex.
and then move on to the farm.
The music shop in the farm, maybe.
So music
Yeah,
shop farm.
because you can hit that and go that way.
Okay, I will prep both of those for next session then.
Nice one.
Don't forget, there's always the opportunity of going back to the police station, because you haven't really cleared that out. You might be able to get some more scrap out of there if you really need it. But yeah, music shop, then farm, next session. Sounds
Nice one.
good.
Thank you, Brian. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, Brian and Dave and Max, thank you very much, gentlemen. That was fun, as always. We survived that one. I feel like we survived that one fairly well without too much threat. So
I say that's a vacation day for us.
a success. I call that a success for my first session with a new character. So we will return in 2 weeks for session 11. So Brian, thank you. Dave and Max, thank you. Viewers, thank you for watching. This was session 10. This is After the End. This is Ashes Without Number. We're RX Oliver and the gang. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.